Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Encounters. Hey, Shell Bell, Diane, everybody out there. Jen, welcome to Encounters, the late night #1 spiritual UFO talk show on social media. Good to have everybody with us on a Friday night. And we've got apple cider. Which is a good thing. Hope you're all having a good evening. Lavola, good to see you. Patricia, Lance Lee, Connie, Janie Gibbs. I see a lot of different people in here. The Shady Tree of Spoils. Hey, Patricia, welcome. My Twisted Mystic, good to see you. Joanna E.T. Design News, welcome Design News. Marinee, Peace, Love, and Light. Stephen, Truth Seeker. Hello, England. Good to see you in England with us. Welcome. Hey, Pete. Welcome, Pete, to the show. And my energy is so strong tonight that my green screen is acting up a little bit here. Hold on a minute. I think that will be a little bit better. A little bit. So welcome everybody to the show. We're going to have another great show tonight. I have one show behind. The show from last night is not downloaded on my YouTube channel. If you want to watch previous shows, you go on my YouTube channel, Ashtar Command Spaceship News. Thank you, Twisted Mystic, for the ice cream cone. TY, thank you for the lightning bolt. Thank you so much. We appreciate it very much. To send me pictures, send it to CmdrAleon at AOL.com. Again, that's CmdRAleon at AOL.com. And if you do that, oh, this is good. This works for me. And if you do that, I'll get the pictures. Hey, Johnny, good to see you, brother. Dawn Howard, welcome to the show. Vivian, everyone out. Purge something. Harry Taylor, 8197. Gigi Happy. I'm just looking at all the names coming in here. Hey, Tara, good to see you. Welcome. G, welcome to our show, Encounters. You're watching the #1 spiritual UFO talk show on social media. I'm CmdrAleon, the man from Mars. Busting the Matrix. That means everything. Hey, Mimi, good to see you. And when we say busting the Matrix, brothers and sisters, this UFO show goes where another UFO show will go. I don't care what social media platform it's on. I don't care if it's on the History Channel or Travel Channel. The good thing is we're live. They'll record it. And we do what we do. We are amped up tonight. Hey, Melissa, thank you for the share. Dina, good to see you. Welcome, Dina. This has been a crazy week out there on planet Earth, but it's going to be a really good night and a good weekend. So you haven't missed anything. If you're just coming in, take a chair. We have seats all over the world. Our studio is worldwide. So in our studio, you can take a seat with a couch, a chair, a meditation pillow, whatever your desire is. Find a place to sit, relax, and enjoy the show. If you have had contacts with space people, fairies, mer people, the Bigfoot, Dawn, thank you for the heart me. If you've had, if you're videotaping currently a lot of activity, C. Burrows 336, I've seen UFOs before 3 times. And C.J. Burrow, we are going to, if you change your setting to public, you have it set to private. I can invite you on when I start doing interviews. If you'd like to be on the show, you have to reset your setting. You have to go back out and come back in, reset the setting on your thing there, and we can bring you on when we start doing interviews. Hey, Catherine, good to see you. Thank you, Dino, with Misty Moon. Okay. Dawn Renee, thank you for the bracelet. Stephen, Truth Seeker. I've seen a lot of strange stuff. Stephen, we're following you. You have over 200 followers. And for some reason, hey, Patricia, if you want to try Stephen to come up, when I start doing interviews, there's the little multi-guest icon button at the bottom. You'll have to try using that to see if we can get you on live. Because for whatever reason, it says 200 followers, which would be perfect, and it doesn't allow me to put you on as a guest. Vanessa, welcome to the show. Judy M, welcome. Universal Love, good to have you. That's a good name, Universal Love. Bell 0714, Carol Burr something, Bobby Godsey, welcome everybody who's coming out here. And it's early yet. This is an early night. It's only 11:19. So we don't deal with paranormal. It would have to be ET, cosmic, galactic. We don't do any paranormal. If we're ET related, strictly, yes. But paranormal, we just don't do that. Jesse Swigert, yes. Back when I was a kid, in the 1960s, I had an encounter with a spaceship with men and women and children that were wearing light blue space outfits that were... The adults were tall. They were about 7-8 feet tall. Children were probably about over 5 feet. They were kids, I say children, young. So yes, I've had, it was my first encounter with people from outer space. And hey, the river, good to have you with us. And I've had numerous spaceship accounts since I was a kid, growing up in the 60s. And I've had 2 large spaceship sightings back in the 1980s. So I have a really good background in the subject, but I also come from Mars, and I also come from off planet. So I'm not from Earth. I am living here on Earth, but I'm not from Earth. I'm born here, but I'm not from here. Hey, young Skywalker, good to see you. And being born here, I volunteered to come here, what you call the word definition of a starseed. So I would consider it, I guess you define starseed. My Earth-based parents are no longer here. They've left. They're gone. And but I did have Earth-based parents that I was with for all my life. I wasn't physically living there with them, but I was with them in terms of being their son. But I'm not from Earth. I'm not from here. I find this planet very strange. It's really, I assimilated into the working situation of Earth, and I find that very strange. This planet is beautiful, but I find it extremely strange, the way things are set up here. It's pretty limited. Can anyone hear the emergency on your phone? What emergency, Cheryl? Emergency on my phone? Jesse Swigert, yes, I remember. I remember why I came here. I remember the reason why I'm here, and yeah, I have complete memory. Complete memory. Why is it some of us have multiple encounters and others have none? I've had several. Well, since you've had several, I would like to, Pete, the Peaceful Hippie. Pete, would you like to share your encounters with us when we do interviews tonight? I'd like to have you on. You've had multiple encounters with the extraterrestrial area. As long as it's extraterrestrial, not paranormal, we can definitely enjoy having you come on and share. I do miss my parents and sisters, ZKC says. And Jesse Swigert says, please tell. Hey, Carmel, hello. So I find this planet awfully, it's very confining in terms of the way things are set up. Do you do spiritual cleansing or aura? What I've done on my show here, Vitamin C, I like that name, Vitamin C, is over the last number of weeks, I've had guests on that had been abducted by lower vibrational ETs, and we've done work on that level. That's the work we do when we're needing to do it, and I've helped many people that way. So that's really primarily what I do, other than doing interviews, telling people about the Ashtar Command, which we'll be doing Saturday night. Saturday night is Ashtar Command Q&A. We'll have April on with us Saturday evening, who's been on the ship of the Ashtar Command. With her, part of the space family, biological space family, over 30 plus times. And so she'll be on with me tomorrow night. But you can always come on anytime. She's here. And anybody else who wishes to be interviewed usually will, as long as they're over 18. Cheryl Brown, they are over the United States. Cheryl, who's over the United States? Unexplained. Okay, vitamin C says, aura cleansing on my body, unexplained. So vitamin C, are you having some negative encounters with ETs or lower vibrational ETs? I'm trying to figure this out. Is Earth a low-level planet? Earth is not a low-level planet. It's been controlled for a lot of years by low-level ETs that had the ability to travel on spaceships, but they're not advanced spiritually. They are basically limited, but they used Earth as a place to control it. The vibrational level mark of Earth is now vibrating at a much higher level than it was before. Hence, all the people that are having encounters personally on a positive scale, there's a lot of people having positive encounters for the first time. And then I've had people, if I look at the percentages of guests who have been abducted, those abductions were essentially 10, 20 years ago. Many of them, or early 2000s and before that. Not much of that we see happening. There's a little bit of it still going on, but not much. So in terms of Earth is vibrating now at a much higher level than it was 10 or 20 years ago. Much higher. They are. The Ashtar Command is involved in stopping the chemtrails. They've been involved in that project for a long time. Hey, Rita. Good to see you, Rita. And let's see here. Hey, Pygmy of Southern California. Good to have you with us. Dwayne, welcome. Sleep paralysis. Hear conversations, maybe from childhood, etc. Okay. Yeah, that's a whole different ballgame, vitamin C. If it's not related to the ET area, I'm not that I couldn't do anything. I probably could. But I would say if it doesn't delve into if you're having ET contact of not the positive kind or something, I can probably work to help you in terms of that kind of thing. Let's see here. How do the crafts move? Joe says they move in all different ways. They can come and go. They can cloak. The higher level spaceships can come in and out of frequency, of dimension. There's a lot of different ways. There's no limit in terms of how the spaceships move. You're welcome, Mark. Terry Spirit Trebell. Hello, Terry. I'm just looking at people coming in here. Black Bear asked me, have you been what? What, Black Bear? Have you been... Hey, Paranormal Ghostbuster. Not yet, Jordan. Let's see. Thank you, Joe. And I'm trying to catch up to all the questions. No, I understand it, Joe. Hey, look, we're glad to have you here. A lot of people, if you're new here, once you start watching my show, you're going to see that everything I do is real here. Everything I talk about is cosmic truth. All the interviews, I've been on radio for 21 years. For new people to watch this program, I've been doing radio on NPR radio Pacific Radio for 21 years, still doing it on Sunday mornings. And I'm also a contactee, so I've had direct contact with positive space people. And I welcome all the new people that are finding this show for the first time through TikTok. Welcome. Len, welcome. Are the fairies scared of us? I went in my backyard and looked for them. They're not scared of us. If you listen to my sister April up in Vermont, the fairies do want to have reconnections. No, never, Black Bear. I work from the highest levels of light. I work with the Christed levels of light. I'm from the Ashtar Command before I came here. I work with cosmic spiritual beings. My whole cosmic family are people that are men and women that are human. No, I've never had any negative encounters. Never will. Never will. Please share and like if you're, and also please like. We want to get up to 100,000 likes. So please feel free to share, to let people know that you're here. And of course, we are going to do the same. I always keep forgetting to do that, but we are going to share with about 15 people randomly. And you can do the same thing. If you have 15 good people that you think should be watching the show for the first time, that are involved or like the subject matter, invite them. This is an open place on our show worldwide, so I encourage people to do exactly what I just did. And welcome to the show, KKC Rootsman 12, Aaron Walls. Hey, Tiffany. Good to have you with us. Hope you're doing well as can be as well there. And it's just a great night to be here on Friday night. And for those that are new, this is an actual talk show. So usually when you go on TikTok, there's a lot of people like arguing, yelling at each other over crazy, ridiculous things. We do a talk show. So it's a breath of cosmic fresh air here. We don't do battles. We don't have people yelling at each other. I interview people constantly. And I also share what I do know. Housewives' Lives Matter. Hey, Housewives' Lives Matter. Good to have you with us. Hey, Yvonne. So what we do here, when I was 10 and I was in a cabin with my Cub Scouts, 2 Pleiadians walked by with a green light above. Interesting, JD. JD, would you like to come on the show and talk about the Pleiadians? So you had an encounter with the Pleiadians when you're in the Cub Scout. You're in a cabin in the woods, I assume. They came by, they walked with a green light above. I'm interested to know what the green light was. Interesting. That sounds like an interesting possible story here. During my time, Pete says, in the military, I was involved in a UFO recovery as well. Pete, we'd like to get you on. Pete, you were the first one. Pete, we're going to bring you on here, man. And then we'd like to bring on JD. JD, would you like to come on after Pete? Okay, so we're going to bring on Pete first, and then JD, you're going to be the second one on my list. So definitely we're going to do this. Let me get our first guest on here. Hopefully I can find them. They're still here. Let's see, Pete. Where's Pete? Oh, there's Pete right there. All right, we got to bring Pete on here. Pete is our first guest, everybody. Pete, when you're drinking, no paranormal discussion. And of course, my screen just decided to go down here. So welcome to the show, Pete.
All right. Hello.
Oh. Hello. So good to have you with us.
I don't know which one I should tell you about. I got several. Maybe we'll just go with the UFO recovery one, and I'll throw the other ones at you some other night. I was involved in that in 1990. Go ahead, Commander.
You're going to say 1990. First of all, I want to welcome you to the show. Pete, where are you located? What state or where around the planet are you?
I'm up. I'm up here in the mountains of North Carolina. I believe you
Oh,
watched
great.
my encounter I had Christmas Eve that I have posted. I think I saw you watched it. So
Yeah, I did. I watched that. So tell us about the UFO recovery. This is interesting. I've never talked to anybody who was involved in UFO recovery, and tell us how you became involved in that. How did that happen?
well, I'll start out. I was in the Navy, and I went to advanced electronics school. So I ended up on a ship as a seaman, and we went out to the sea during the first parts of Desert Storm, and I was prior military in the Army. I was a mechanic in there. So when we got out on the ocean, they needed more mechanics than they need electronic technicians. So they put me in charge of the small boats that were aboard a sub tender. We're not going to say the name of it because I don't know how
Right.
much I could actually share about the event because I wasn't
Okay.
really, I didn't really have I had E9 clearance, but I didn't have top clearance at the time. And I was basically degraded to two different groups, which was the enginemen and the seamen, which was to take care of the ship. So I kind of told each one of them that I was in the other place, but I was aboard the captain's gig up there on top of behind the smokestacks, and we came across basically looked like an oily pinball floating in the ocean, about the size
Mm-hmm.
of a Volkswagen.
Huh.
And I will say we carried things from submarines that had big tubes, and
Mm-hmm.
we had big cranes on our ship. So we circled around to the first side of it with our number 2 crane, which is a bit smaller than our number 1, and we dropped this net up around this thing and tried to pull it up put it in a tube, and it pulled our ship over to almost bringing listing water up on the sides, on the deck. I'm on a 720-foot ship, so 28 foot, 728 foot, and it's almost listing over the water when we try to pick this damn thing out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
So that didn't work. It kind of broke one of the davits on the crane. They brought the ship around, had 2 of submarines tied to the other side of our ship and pull us sideways while we used our number 1 crane to pluck that thing out of the ocean and drop it in the missile tube.
Hmm. Now, when this thing was, like you were saying, the size of it, um, how did you guys find this object in the water?
Well, like I said, I was up top side taking care of running boat, keeping the boats battle ready, basically running water through them from pulling off the ocean water and running through the boats and shit. So they pulled a security alarm on our ship, and that means all the Marines go crazy and stick weapons to our heads and tell us if we take our heads out of our butts, they'll shoot our heads off. So obviously, I didn't discuss much when I was there, but we'd come up along it, and I'd been up there about 2 hours while this all took place. We come up, it was just bobbing like a fishing float in the ocean.
Yeah.
It looked like a pinball was, like I said, it kind of with an oily sheen to it. Basically,
Right.
the best way I could describe it.
Now, when they took this thing and recovered it, UFO recovery, was it an unmanned object? Can you tell us more in depth what they found?
I could, like I said, I was afraid to mention where I was at, that I'd seen it, because my security level wasn't up to par to be able to witness it without getting shot by a Marine. So I never did see much more than I watched the whole process of them coming up on it. I watched it bobbing. I watched them drop cargo
Yeah.
net. I watched the crane collapse. I watched them bring the ship around, more 2 subs to us, pull us sideways, and they finally plucked it out and brought it around, dropped it in one of the Minutemen tubes on our ship. So,
Okay. So they did recover it, but you never got to see, other than what you just told me, you didn't get to see the end process of what was actually there.
was never told what was there, or I knew better to ask, because I was asked by both my the chief petty officer and my engineman commander down there where I was, and I just kind of threw it back and forth. But I also was head of I'll throw this one in because it was pretty simple and sweet. I was in Lauderdale in 91, right at the end of, right almost 92. And I was standing there smoking a cigarette before dawn, and an airship came over. It looked like probably about 600, 700 foot long. It looked like the blimp, except it didn't have a bottom on it. It didn't make any noise. And I was working in Pompano, so I drove past the blimp hangars every day. And the next morning, both blimps were in the hangar, so I know that's not what I saw. And being part of the neighborhood watch, I got on my CB, and we tracked it all the way down to North Miami from northern Pompano, right there in Pompano Beach. And we tracked it up, going all the way down. It just did a straight line, and then it went out to sea and just took off. But it was huge, and it was so low I swear I could hit it with a rock, but it made no sound.
Wow.
No sound.
Pretty wild, pretty wild. Well, okay. I mean, Pete, that's some really good stories to tell that are true. And man, I appreciate coming forward, or at least sharing what you could share, what you did see. And that's more than some people that have not ever had that experience. You're right on a ship where that was going on, but you saw enough to be able to see a little bit that this is naval intelligence, which I've known about for years.
Right.
I knew this gentleman from England. He had met me at a UFO conference in Long Island, and I wasn't supposed to speak, but the person who was supposed to speak never showed up. So the head of the conference wanted me to come up and speak. So I spoke about the media area regarding UFOs and everything. And I met this gentleman from England with his wife, who was retired from the Ministry of Defense, or he was in some level of government in England. And he had told me that naval intelligence, because of the ships on the sea, the Navy ships, a lot of the Navy ships that travel throughout the oceans around the world get to see what they call spaceships or UFOs that come going into the ocean and out of the ocean. They see them all the time. They have close-ups of these. They don't talk about it, but naval intelligence has a lot of information regarding what they are seeing, and it's been going on for years. So the fact that your story talks about a retrieval of a UFO on a smaller scale, but is a lot of activity in the oceans and our seas of underwater objects, so to speak.
Well, my father was a warrant officer at the time during this, and I discussed it with him, and he just told me to keep it under my hat until many years from now, is what he told me back then. So,
oh yeah, and that's what the deal was for many years ago. Many people who were in levels of security clearance would keep it secret until they were like too old to, and said to themselves, well, I'm not getting any younger. I need to go public and share it. But the problem is that years ago, a lot of these people should have been straight honest, all of them. There was more than one of them.
I had E9 missile tech clearance, but that's still, that's not that high.
Not that high, I know. But what you did get to see, you actually got to share. And I really thank you for, the revelations of your own personal experience. That's why this show is a show of disclosure, because that you have these experiences.
Well, I've watched you several times, and I said, well, shit, should I tell him about the UFO over Pompano, the one on the boat, or my encounter with that hairy fucker?
No, we got to watch the languaging here, because
I'm sorry, the hairy fucker.
I want to be careful. I don't want to ever have a problem with TikTok.
Gotcha. I apologize if I offended anybody. Adult language, I apologize to anyone I may have.
All right, well, Pete, I thank you for being here. I know there's another person who was in
do me a favor there, Commander. Take a look at my UFO thing for Christmas Eve, and if there's any way you can send somebody to blow that up and maybe give me a better picture of what I saw, I'd love to get more information on what I saw that night.
Yeah, we'll try to take a look at that. I'm swamped with a lot of messages and email, but I will, if I get a chance, we'll try to see if we can take a look at that.
All right, because I'd really love to get more information on what I've started out with 4 and ended up with 2 and then 1 and none at all. So it was Christmas Eve. It's on my thing there. So check that out for me. Drop me a message when you're always busy, but when you can work me in there, brother.
Okay, I got you for sure. All right, man. Well, Pete, thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing
I'll
some
be
bits of stories there with our audience, and we appreciate it.
I'll be back in here listening.
I got you. I got you. No
I've been
problem. All right.
I've been on there a lot of nights just sitting back listening. So
Oh yeah, we appreciate appreciate your viewership and everything else there, Pete, as well. Now, the person that had the Cub Scout thing, are you still here? Where's the person with the Cub Scout thing? Say hello. Let me know you're still here. Ah, there, JD. Okay, JD, you're my next guest. I'm going to bring JD up. JD had an experience with the Pleiadians. So we're going to bring JD up. This is the #1 spiritual UFO talk show on any social media, and you're talking to the commander, CmdrAleon, here, the
Hello.
host of the show. Hey,
Can you hear
JD, how
me?
you doing? Yes,
All
I
right.
can. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm calling from Austin, Texas, and I was
Oh,
just going to
great.
tell you something from the '80s. It was like '82. So I'm with the Cub Scouts, and we're like 10 of us, 12 of us in a cabin. It doesn't have a door on the cabin, by the way. And
Right.
2 or 3 in the morning, I'm the only one that wakes up, and I looked at the door, and there's these two. It has to be Pleiadians because they have blonde hair. They're tall, and they had like a silverish looking suit with a like insignia on the shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like a light lime green light above them, like just shining down on them. Really light green light. I remember that
Yeah.
distinctly. And they walked
Hmm.
by, and the first guy looked at me and kind of gave me a little smile, and then all I remember is blacking out.
Blacking
That's
out.
all I
Okay,
can tell you
wow.
about that. It was very
So,
strange.
so how old were you when that happened?
About 10 years old.
10 years old, folks. So there were two of them. One was the Pleiadians, as you stated. How tall were they? Do you remember?
They were taller than the doorway entrance. So
Yeah,
whatever a typical
they
entrance
could be.
of a house or a door.
Yeah, that'd probably be they'd be 7, maybe 7.5 feet tall.
I would
That would be
imagine
about,
so.
yeah, imagine, yeah. Were they both men or was there a man and a woman?
I believe they were both men.
Okay. And how did you know they were Palladian?
Well, as time went by, and me doing research with this, later on in life, I figured it out that's what that was. Because another weird thing I was going to tell you is like I have very limited memories of my childhood. Just like I can
Mm-hmm.
literally count on one hand what I remember. And
Yeah.
another memory that happened after that was in art class. It was my art teacher and some gentleman in a suit. Didn't know who this guy was, and the teacher had asked us to draw something. That she played music and asked us to draw what we felt. And what I drew was a spaceship docking in a space station in space. And the
Hmm.
gentleman that was sitting at the chair at the front of the class was taking an extreme amount of notes when he was asking me questions with my teacher.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't know what the hell that was about, but that was
Do you
another
think
memory I have.
do you think the gentleman with the teacher, the gentleman was a government agent?
Yeah, later on in life, I figured that out too. It had to be. It had
Yeah.
to
I
be.
mean, why would they be so interested in taking notes about what you just said
And my
regarding that?
artwork.
Ah, your artwork. So the gentleman that was in the suit with the teacher he had seen your artwork.
Yes.
And your artwork, can you explain to our viewers what the artwork was?
What it was I drew like a spaceship, like a ship docking into a space station in space. And
Mm-hmm.
I was very distinct on the planets that were nearby.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I don't know how I thought about that and the colors of the planets and the ship I was on,
Mm-hmm.
but I drew it, and like the guy was like taking extreme amount of notes about it. And I
Yeah,
still
no
remember
problem.
that.
So you do have memory of things that are really interesting. The two
Mhm.
Palladians, two men that were tall with the blonde hair. You're drawing these spaceships. Can you describe what the spaceships looked like?
Um, It was the one I was in was like a shuttle. It was like I was depicting what I was in. It was a
Mm-hmm.
shuttlecraft.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of it's similar to our space, the ones that we used, our space shuttles. A little bit
Mm-hmm.
bigger though, and we were going into a space station that was a big giant circle. like a big, like that movie, whatever that movie is. It's very similar to that.
It was so the ship, the big ship or the station was a circular type of craft. And when you went into it, can you describe a little bit more what that was like?
That's another thing I was going to tell you. I have a recurring nightmare of me being on that craft, and it's of me running up metal steps. I'll never forget this, and I've been having this dream for years of me running with some kind of like weapon in my hand, and there's like it looks like reptilians are chasing me, and I'm going up these flights of stairs to the second level of this ship, and they can't catch me, and I'm about to fire, and then I wake up every time sweating. Every time I have that dream, I have that same dream, and it's been happening for years, and it has to do with that for some reason.
So this is very interesting, folks. You had, as a Cub Scout, the encounter with the two Pleiadian beings. You have a dream. Hear this. He has a dream where in your dream, the reptilians are trying to catch you, correct?
And I'm an adult in my dream.
You're an adult. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So when you wake up from that dream, do you proceed to see yourself feeling like there might be that in the dream state that the reptilians are actually physically maybe in your home or near your home? Do you feel what's going on with that?
What do I feel when I wake up? I feel like that dream happened somewhere else. But yet it feels too close to comfort because I'm literally sweating and breathing hard when I wake up from this dream.
Right. And in your home, do you feel, what is the energy like in your home? Can you explain?
I don't feel anything around my house. I do feel like I've been pulled a couple of times throughout the years. And
what do you mean? Can you explain what you mean by pulled?
Been taken. But whatever they do to get me to forget, they do a really good job. But the last memory I've had and the last experience I remember was about a year ago, I guess. I fell asleep in my mom's house and I was on her couch. And when I woke up screaming, I was laying on the couch and it felt like I'd been dragged by my feet down the couch, and I was heading out the window, which was like 2 foot from the edge of the couch. And my shirt was rolled up under my armpits.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I was screaming.
When did this happen?
About a year ago.
A year ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you something because if you watch my show, I read people's energy. I read into the story. For whatever reason, I have the ability to tell you things that I wasn't able to do a year ago. So, I work as maybe you've not sure how much you've watched this program or know about me. I work with the Ashtar Command, which are Christed beings of light of the highest levels of light. I also am a contactee since I was a kid in the 60s with positive space contact. I've never had any negative encounters. I never will. I'm in a very, very spiritual high level of frequency or vibrational pattern. So when I'm listening to your story, I have the distinct feeling that you definitely had the encounter with the Pleiadians when you were in the Cub Scouts, but there's the reptilians that got involved, and they're trying to stop you from connecting with the Pleiadians, and that's exactly what's going on here. So I put two and two together, and so I want to ask you a question, and you might not know this. I've helped many people in the last 2 weeks. It's been crazy. I've helped tons of different people who've had these situations occur on different levels. So in your level of what's going on here, I've been blessed with the ability in my downloads to be able to help people and send Ashtar Command people into their homes from my location here where I am. I am just able to do that. So my question is to you, I'd like to gift you and help you to make sure that not only can you remember everything, but also that the reptilians stop interfering with your consciousness, because that's what they're doing.
Yes, please. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm kind of sweaty right now. My heart rate's a little high thinking about that dream.
No, I
understand. It really bothers
that.
me.
So I want to actually you'll be the first one tonight. I want to gift you with something that I'm able to do. And I thank God and I thank the command and my brothers and sisters on the ships for giving me the download whenever that happened since last year to be able to do this. And I'd like to have you close your eyes. What we're going to do is send a spaceship over your location. You're in Austin, Texas, correct?
Yes. Kyle, Texas, to be exact, south of Austin.
Texas. Okay, they know where that is. They know where everything is.
Oh, I know they do.
So we're going to send a spaceship over there. Now, the way we're going to do this, and it's really important, because for me to be able to get to help the person, if a person's not totally out of their, if the person's in their intellectual mind, I can't do anything because the mind is blocking it. But if you are, if you can let your mind sit aside from this whole thing we're going to do right now, you will experience something that you have not experienced before. I guarantee it. And again, I don't have crystal balls. I don't have, glittering lights or neon lights. I don't have cards being thrown in the air. I don't have any pendulums. I don't channel anything or anyone. I work with the Ashtar Command. I'm also a talk show host, which is part of what I did on ships. I intergalactic communications between our different galactic forces of light. So I want to help you.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. And I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to take 4 deep breaths in. And I want you to release out of your nostrils. 4 deep breaths in and release out of your nostrils until you're relaxed. And if you need to do 5 or 6 breaths in, whatever it takes to get your whole consciousness relaxed and your whole physical body relaxed. And we'll proceed.
I'm relaxed.
What I'm going to do is, as we're doing that, I'm going to switch over from talk show host, folks. I'm going to still be your talk show host, but I'm going to switch over into my Ashtar Command consciousness in a nanosecond. I don't do any rituals. I'm not going to do any dancing on the screen. I just switched over to my consciousness on that other level. It's like turning a switch on, all right? So here's what we're going to do. You're going to keep your eyes closed, and we're sending a ship over your location right now. I asked the Ashtar Command, my father and those on the ship, to send one of our ships over to Austin, Texas, about 30,000 feet above his location. We're going to send 10 Ashtar Command people into your outside of your house. They're going to go into your house. They can just go through the walls. They don't need to knock on the door, so to speak. They'll be able to come right into the molecular structure and come right into. Whoa! Hey, what's JD? Is that JD? JD?
Yes.
What's going on? JD? Are you there?
My phone's messing up.
What's going on? What's going on?
My phone just went crazy.
What the heck?
I don't know what's going on. Sorry about that.
Okay, let's stop. I want the Ashtar Command to go in there right now and clear the energy. I want the Ashtar Command to go in there and clear the energy, please. If there's anyone trying to interfere with him, it could be that it's just the energy that affected your phone.
It is, because I could just feel tall people walking in.
Okay, that's the Ashtar Command. Okay, I've never had that happen before.
My phone just went crazy for no reason.
Okay. I've never had that happen before. When I'm helping people, they're really there. There's 10 of them there right now. They are tall. They're about 7-8 feet tall. There's 5 men and 5 women.
Yep.
And yep, they're there. Thank you. I'm going to tell my father thank you. And now my cat's meowing. My cat's coming in now. Okay. What's going on, Missy? You too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now that's a first. Okay, Missy, you can hang out if you want to. My cat just came in here. She heard everything. I don't know what's going on with her.
And my dog just went in circles around me too.
Okay, so that I just like, okay, let me get refocused a little bit here. Hi there. Hey, baby. It's okay. Her name is Missy. She's hanging out with us. So here, I'm going to get refocused really. So the space people are there. Okay. What's happening here is like as real as it gets. I'm going to have them work with you. I'm going to have 1 man and 1 woman they're part of the people in that group of the command are what we call medical people, not like Earth-based medical people. They're from a different level of consciousness. There's not the same as on Earth. And so I want you to keep your eyes closed.
There.
Okay. The woman is going to touch the top of your head. I'm going to ask her to do that now. Missy, it's okay. You can hang out with me. She's going to touch the top of your head, which is going to activate a clearing in your consciousness. And then there'll be two other people. One's going to touch your right arm, and one's not your right arm, your right shoulder and your left shoulder. And when that happens, please let me know. Wow.
They got something in their hand, I believe.
Yes.
A guy does. He has some kind of square thing in his hand. I can see in my mind's eye.
Yes, you can see it. Okay, that's amazing. And so what they're doing is they're going to clear all the energy out. The reptilians have tried to do a job on your consciousness. I want the other Ashtar commanders to go through the whole house, check all the energy there, and clear out any energy that was put there by the reptilians, and also check the perimeters of the outside of the area where he lives. Do a scanning area of the location. So they're all listening to me. I'm also a commander on one of the ships. I'm here on Earth, but I am also still an Ashtar commander. Nice. So they're going to do that. A few of them are staying in the room. They're staying in the house to check all your rooms. Do you have any basements or anything?
No, just a second story. I can feel like 4 or 5 of them are upstairs.
Yeah, they're checking upstairs to make sure there's nothing there. They're going to clear all the energy out of your home right now as we speak.
I can sense they're in the backyard too. 2 or 3 of them are in the back.
Yeah, they're checking everything. They're going to put invisible devices around your property.
Good.
These devices are going to. Wow, someone's got a revved up car at 12 midnight. But anyway, that's another story. So they're going to put these individual devices around your property. Wow. And it's gonna protect you forever. They're gonna put
I can breathe better now. I all of a sudden I can breathe.
Yeah, they're working on everything. This is the first time again. They came in so strongly into your home they affected your technology. Some people outside. I don't know. Someone's got a car or something revving up. But anyway, they're there they're gonna protect you, and you are feeling a big shift. How do you feel right now?
Oh my goodness, I can feel like a breeze around me now. It's like lighter.
Yes.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
So for people watching what I'm doing right now, you're probably saying, this is amazing. I've never seen a person do this for another person or anything like this. Everything I do here is because I humbly have been given the ability, downloaded in the last few months through my space family. They are able to download in my cellular structure and to my consciousness things that I wasn't able to do before. I'm able to do this, and I don't just do it just to do it. I do it in situations like this. I will do it, and they're going to stick with you for the whole weekend. They're going to actually be present there until Sunday, Earth time.
Wow, I feel so much better already. I literally can feel the difference.
Yeah. And when you have your dreams now, you're going to remember, and when you do, matter of fact, your connections with the Pleiadians are going to be reopened. The reptilians were trying to block you from communicating with the Pleiadian people. You have a connection with the Pleiadian people, whether you realize it or not. But the reptilians, these particular reptilians, were trying to block your communications, so to speak. Do you understand?
I know they're mad because I did something to hurt them really bad. I don't know how, when, and what dimension, but I did something to really hurt them. So that's why they've been after me really hard.
And they're gonna be forced to stop. And if they try to even go near your location, they will be taken off planet. They will be taken off planet in one of the ships. I'm not sure what it is in whatever time frame you did something to them or what they thought you did, but they need to get over it. And they're going to be no longer able to go into your consciousness nor into your physical environment.
I'm so grateful and thankful for that.
And you see what I just did? I didn't do any rituals. I didn't do any hocus pocus. Everything I do here, the commander does here, folks, is real. That's why it's different from any other type of thing out there when it comes to what you call a UFO program. That's why what I do is different, because I'm a contactee as well. I'm not just somebody looking to do a UFO show. I've been on radio for 21 years. I've done workshops. I've taken people off planet in workshops. And so everything I do is as real as it gets, as you're looking at me and I'm looking at you.
It is.
And
Boy,
my
I've never
guests,
been on
like
your show. I've
JD,
never done this, and I've experienced something very special, and I'm very grateful and humble and thankful for it.
and we thank you. We also, the command is sending they're right there. They're there. They love you. And they will, before they leave, one or two of them will reveal themselves. They're wearing spacesuits. They're cloaked. They can decloak themselves if they wish to. They're going to wait before they leave over the weekend. One or two of them, you'll get to see them physically, and you can communicate with them. In the meantime, they know that, yes, they know you can do it telepathically, so you can communicate with them through consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're beautiful people. They're very beautiful, and they're giving me a slight smile. They're tall. Okay. It's intimidating, but they're tall. Their energy is very peaceful.
No intimidation. They're just taller than a regular human person. They are human, but their humanness is that they're about 7.5 to 8 feet tall.
Right. Exactly.
Which is normal for them.
And I'm thinking they're wearing like a bluish color.
Okay. If you're envisioning that, that's most likely true.
Bluish and silver or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Go with it. If you think, if you're saying
that's what I'm seeing them in.
Well, go with what you're seeing. Don't second guess it. That's what you're actually seeing. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
They're wearing their spacesuits.
Yes, they are.
You know.
Wow.
And I'm fine. Now, when I started this show, I never started doing this. When I first started the show in 2023 on here, I never did this ever. But at some point in 2023 into 2024, I was activated, and I didn't realize I was being able to do this. All of a sudden, I'm starting to do this, and I'm actually able to send our ships to anywhere in the world to do certain things.
It did happen. I know it did.
Yeah, I mean, it's, for me, every time I do this, it feels fresh for me because I feel it's relatively recent in my history on the show doing this. I'm feeling also, and this is kind of strange for me to even say this, because I don't even feel I can do this. This is the human part of me. I feel at some point I'm going to be downloaded with information where I will be able to send ships over to nuclear facilities, and we can choose to locate the facilities, and they will shut down the facilities permanently. Now, I don't know that I can do this yet. I don't think I can do this yet. I will know Saturday night when we have our Ashtar Command Q&A with our space family whether I'm able to do this. If they tell me that they've downloaded something in me where I can actually send ships over to locations and knock out nuclear facilities in a nanosecond, meaning shut down the electronics of these nuclear weapons, I've been getting this feeling that's going to be happening soon. I don't know what that means, but I know right now this is what I can do, is do what I'm doing with people like yourself, JD. I'm able to help you and get rid of all the negative ETs that have been interfering, and that's the thing that I'm able to do.
Wow. I mean, my migraine is gone and I can breathe and I feel lighter. It's hard to explain and it sounds weird, but that's the truth.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're here, and they're going to be with you tonight. I'm glad you found my show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, and I'll be seeing you soon.
All right, JD, thank you for sharing. That's how I was able, like I said, I read people's stories, and then if it becomes a situation where I need to assist them with the Ashtar Command, I can send a spaceship over anywhere in the world, and we will send space people from the command into that room. And if there's anyone who doesn't believe this, I will knock you out of the show in 2 seconds. So make your choice. Make your choice now. All right, JD, thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Yep. Let's see here. All right. All right. Can the space people heal people? Yes. Yes, they can. But also, people can heal themselves. Our healing abilities have been dormant because of the planet Earth. We've been sent into a planet of limitations for many years. But yes, Roxie wants to share something. Roxie, we'd love to have you up here. Roxie wants to share. I'm going to bring Roxie up here. Roxie, again, over 18, no foul language, no smoking, no drinking, no drugs, no paranormal discussion, and no cursing or whatever. So let me just bring her up there. You're watching Encounters, the late night spiritual talk show. And we're going to bring our next guest up here. We're happy to have our next guest, Roxie. Welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you.
And where are you located?
I am in Kentucky right now.
Oh, great. Nice to have you with us on the show. And tell us a little bit of your background and what you wanted to share.
Well, in 1972, I lived in a house on a lake in Minnesota, and we had very strange things occurring at our home. We had a basement, but it faced out to the lake. And we discovered that we had ETs in our home.
ETs in the home?
Yes, they were. I know this isn't the name for them, but they were little grays.
And they're actually Zeta. They're Zeta.
Zetas. And then there was one that looked like later on in the E.T. movie. But this is before the E.T. movie.
Okay, no, like the E.T. movie with the kids, where the E.T.'s riding on a bicycle or whatever they're going.
Yeah.
And I've seen the movie. And so it looks like that.
Finger, yeah, the one with the finger that pointed out, that bulbous finger.
Yes,
we had that one in our home.
Okay.
Also. I know it's hard to believe this, but they communicated telepathically, and they lived under the stairs.
They lived under the stairs?
Yeah, because that's where we had our pantry, was right next to that. That's where the food supply was.
Okay.
So I figured that out, and our parents would ask us to go down and get food, canned goods or whatever, and they'd be there.
So they lived, now the food pantry was downstairs under the main part of the house?
Yeah, it was next to it. There was a room next to where you could access 2 rooms, one off the lake and one in the basement could access under the stairs.
And a lake area, meaning, so for our viewers watching this, I'm assuming you were in a country area where there wasn't like a big city, or so it's
very small town.
Very small town, and how did they find your home?
I'll tell you how. Across the lake, only about 100 yards, was an island, and their spaceship. This is what they told us. I know me for sure. Mm-hmm. That their spaceship crashed, and they needed a place, and we were it.
You were it.
We were it. Go ahead.
No, but how did they choose did they just randomly choose the house? I find this great. This is interesting. Or did they just know?
This house was on an ancient burial. This is on ancient burial, Native American land, and the central of Minnesota. And I looked up the history of this land. It was owned previously, of course, by the Native Americans, and it was on top of an Indian rock. They called them Indian rocks.
And can you explain what an Indian rock is for viewers here around the world that don't understand what that might be?
It's a Native American burial ground.
A burial ground?
Yes, there's a burial ground underneath. And that's why it took us so long to drill for water. We had to drill through all that granite and everything else. But
interesting.
This was very scary. I'm telling you, they did not like children. I think I was only 10 years old. They did not like children. They would tell you, get the, out.
Well, yeah. So they were being nasty.
They're very nasty. Even when us girls, 3 girls slept upstairs in a bedroom. They were under the bed, pulling on sheets, running around the room. It was just horrific.
Oh my God.
They were I think only 1.5 feet, maybe 18 inches tall or shorter. They're
Yeah,
very short.
they were a short version. The Zeta Reticuli have many different types of zetas. So these really were very small zetas, correct?
Yes, and then the other one always stayed underneath the stairs
Mm-hmm.
by the food supply. I don't know why. And there was water down there too. And we had a
Yeah.
finished basement. My brother was on the other side of the basement. He did see red glowing eyes in his closet at night. I don't know who had the red glowing eyes or what.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this sounds like I'm
That's not.
crazy.
No, you're not crazy. Every time I have guests on here, they tell me how crazy they think they sound. I want all my guests to stop using the word crazy because you're not. It's 30 years later. People now are more apt to understand your stories. My audience will not think you're crazy at all. So you don't have to worry about that. So I have a question for you. This is where another thing is where I'm reading your story.
Yeah.
And again, this is happening more and more. So I would like to assist you if you'll let me help you. I would like to assist you because I feel that their energy is still around you.
Yes.
Okay.
Then when I moved to Palm Springs, just like 7 years ago, I was in Palm Springs, California, and I had burn marks on my right leg
Oh my God.
in the formation of Orion from the stars in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very painful, and there were big holes, and my doctor didn't know what it was.
Yeah. The doctor didn't know
So,
what it was.
and then so one night I woke up, it was 3 a.m. It was super bright outside the window, huge glass, 8-foot glass window. I didn't dare to look out there.
Mm-hmm.
But then I remember just losing consciousness. I don't know if I was abducted. I always felt I was abducted in Minnesota, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
know about Palm Springs. And my parents at night, this is interesting, they never opened their bedroom door, never, to help
Mm-hmm.
us. It's like we didn't exist at night.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So there's a lot going on here and a lot of stuff from these ETs. With these ETs are nasty. They were negative. They
Yeah.
did stuff to you that is totally against universal law, and it's totally wrong. And so what I want to do, as I did with JD, I want to gift you and assist you if you'll let me do it. And if you were watching my last guest, I can do exactly what I say I can do. And
Okay.
these Zeta are no match for me, nor the Ashtar Command. I will kick them in the cosmic butt, so to speak, and we're going to
Right.
kick them out of the universe, so to speak. And we're going to do that right now. I mean, your story is amazing, and I'm sorry that you went through that. Let me just do something here. For some reason, my power, I have to make sure everything is working the way it should here. Oh, no, wait a minute. I have the wrong thing. I got the wrong plug-in. That's what's going on here. Wait a minute. Let me get my right plug-in here.
And you know what's
You would think,
interesting? When we moved houses just a block down the street and the new
yeah.
family moved in, they were experiencing the same thing because my sister would go over and babysit. Same thing
Mm-hmm.
happening.
Well, we're gonna do right now is something even bigger than I've ever done
Okay.
before.
Okay.
And where are you now in that same area, or are you in a different area right now?
I'm in Kentucky. I moved
Are
from,
you?
yeah.
So where you are now, is it a countrified area? What kind of area is
It's
it?
not a country, it's a mobile home park, but there's woods and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna do two things. Number one, do you ever go back to that area?
In Minnesota?
Yeah,
No, I've seen it on Google Earth, and that house is still there,
it's still there.
unfortunately. And
Okay.
they're still there. There's still
Okay.
something happening there. It's just the most traumatizing thing,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
So I'm going to help you. We're going to do two different things here. We're going to do two different things. One thing is, what's the name of the area of Minnesota where this is, where they are?
Cold Spring.
Cold Spring, Minnesota. So I'm going to do two things right now. I want the Ashtar Command to go to that area of Minnesota. We're also going to work with you where you are in Kentucky. We're going to do two things. We're sending one ship over that area. We're going to send
Yes.
20 Ashtar Command people on the ground level.
Thank
And we're
you.
going to go and we're going to clean. We're going to go into any of the homes that are around the lake. We're also going to have them search in the woods and any possible underground bases they have around that area of Minnesota, around the lake. We're
Yes.
going to find them and we're going to round them up and take them out of there right now
Great.
as I
Perfect.
speak.
Thank you.
I asked my father, Robar, to send one of our ships over there. I'm going to send a ship over your location. I'm going to do some work with you right now, too. I've never
Okay.
had to do this before, so we're doing two different things in two separate locations where the events happened in this country's area on the lake, where they were in the food area, and they were again causing havoc and all kinds of negative stuff. We're gonna, they're probably still doing it to other people that are out there. We're going to
Yes.
clean house, and we're going to make sure they no longer can be there. We're also going to change the vibrational energies in that area of the lake, or they're going to clean all the energy, the past energy of them. We're also going to make sure they're rounded up, and they're going to be taken to a what they call an area where the reptilians and Zeta are being taken, and they're being interrogated, and they're going to be sent off planet.
Thank
With your
you.
situation, we're going to do is a ship is going to be in a nanosecond. When I get this going, the first thing I want to do with you is I want you to close your eyes.
Okay.
Give me a moment. I'm really amped up here, folks. So when you close your eyes, I want you to, let me just get some more of my cider.
And that
I want
lake,
you to,
the lake in Cold Spring is right by the golf course, Cold Spring Golf Course. Because
okay.
Minnesota has 10,000 lakes, so
Yeah,
that's
it's a
the
big
specific
area.
Yes.
Oh, they know where it is.
Okay. They can
So
read
with
my
you,
mind.
oh yeah, they know.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have you close your eyes. We want you to clear your consciousness of all things. I want you to breathe in and breathe out of your nostril about 4 or 5 times until you feel completely relaxed. And you tell me when you feel relaxed.
Now.
Did you say you're now relaxed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. All right. So what we're going to do is keep your eyes closed,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to send a ship over your location where you are in Kentucky. And in like less than a second, 15 of our space people will be in your. Some of them will be outside. 5 of them are coming inside. Keep your eyes closed.
Yes.
And you'll feel their energy pretty quick.
Yeah, because in this neighborhood that I'm at, I hear things all the time outside. I hear really creepy things.
Mm-hmm.
But I communicate with them telepathically. I just tell them they can't come in.
Mm-hmm.
You're not
Well,
allowed.
the other 10 commanders are going to round them up too. So they're
Okay.
going through the whole trail park. They're basically they've been basically following you from where you were in Minnesota. Some of them, and they've been hiding in the woods of your location. The
Yes.
Ashtar commanders are going in the woods. They're going to round them up right now tonight. I don't think there's a lot of them. Maybe there's 24 of them. 24 I'm getting. They're going to be rounded up. They didn't expect this to happen, but they've been caught and they're going to be taken off planet. The thing we're going to do with you is the 5 Ashtar Command people. They're about 7, maybe 8 feet tall, men and women. In a moment, just keep your eyes closed. They're going to let you feel the presence of their energy. It'll feel way different from the negative stuff you felt from these other beings that were doing all this havoc upon you. Tell me when you feel the energy. Let me know.
Now.
You feeling it now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now we're going to amp up the fact that you feel their energy. We're going to do something more important. Again, it seems this is the way they like to do it from the head area where consciousness is. They either the man or the woman's going to touch your forehead, your top of your head, and they have the ability to clear consciousness of any negative impact on your consciousness from these negative ETs. So in a moment, I'm telling one of the space people, these are old medical people from the ship, these people are, they're going to touch your forehead, or not the forehead, but they're going to touch your head, maybe your forehead. And when they do that, you should be feeling it. Please let her know that you're there doing the work. Let her know, let her feel it. It'll be very comfortable, but they're going to let you know that they actually, could be a tingling sensation, whatever it might be, you're going to feel something. And I want the other two Ashtar people in the group of 5, one touch the right shoulder, one touch the left shoulder, the other one touch the forehead at the same time. They're going to do some activation work on you right now.
Okay.
They're also doing a clearing.
Yeah, I feel it now. I just had a question. With
Yes.
those marks that were on my legs, they completely are vanished.
They just vanished now?
No, they vanished before. It didn't take long after I saw Orion on my leg that maybe 6 months or a year, and there's no trace.
Okay, and that was, how long ago was that when that happened?
Well, 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay, 5 or 6 years ago. Okay.
But I have marks.
Okay.
I have marks on my right arm now.
Mm-hmm. And those marks, what do they look like?
They're circular.
Circular. Okay, so when did those marks appear on the arm?
About less than a year ago. And they're healing now.
They're
and
healing. Okay.
I think they're just going to go away. I don't know, like the other ones did.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the 3 people that are working with you from the command, they're working on every aspect of your physical body, your etheric body, and they're working on your consciousness. So you're going to see things happen physically within you and externally without on the outer self. You should start feeling, I can see your energy is shifting like really quick. How do you feel?
I feel better. Calmer.
Yes. Calmer, yes. Yes. You'll no longer have interference from the negative ETs, ever. They're going to clear out the ETs that are in your woods. They are in your woods. They've been hiding there, lurking around for a long time. They've been trying to interfere with you. We're taking them off planet.
Thank
They're
you.
going to be taken off planet, yes.
Because I haven't been able to sleep for 2 or 3 days.
That's because they've been trying to interfere with you. They've been trying to figure out a way to interfere with you.
Right.
The command is going to stay with you. Stay with her through the weekend, please. And also keep her check on her parameters of her woods. They're going to set up some invisible structures that are going to be set up around the trailer park that will protect you and protect everybody else in the trailer park. And also the vibrational frequencies will shift there. Their negative ETs will not be able to come back into that environment. As a matter of fact, if they try to, they're going to not be able to do anything. They're going to actually be afraid to even come close. The vibrational patterns are too high for them, and these beings operate at a low frequency, a low vibration. So they are going to have a lot of problems if they try to do anything. And I'm telling them straight out that if you come near this person, you're going to have a problem. You will. They're afraid of me.
I've been trying to play the higher vibrational frequencies from YouTube.
Oh, good. Good. And, if you use the Christ conscious ambient music, that's really good. That'll help you.
Yes.
Proceeding forward. You will not have that music will help in your peaceful state of consciousness. When you have your dreams now in the future, once the Ashtar Command leaves your home, your dreams will be clearer. You'll have more positive dreams, and you'll have no interference from any negative ETs ever again. I guarantee it.
Thank you.
Never.
I've been so terrified, but through these past 5 or 10 years, I've been subconsciously working out, seeking out that house, going to the, projecting to that house and searching for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the big one is gone, but I'm not sure
Mm-hmm.
about the little ones. But that was just for me to have closure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, they're
So,
being taken care of. They've been, when you left that area, that the lower vibrational ETs were still wreaking havoc with other people living, other human beings living near that lake area.
yes.
And you'll never, ever have that problem again. Ever. Nor will anybody else.
Wow, that's so wonderful.
Dan, I just want you to know you are loved. I send my love to you as the host of the show, as also being, I'm working right now in my Ashtar Command consciousness. I'm still the talk show host, but I also have multiple consciousness, meaning I can switch over to where I am right now. When I switch over into my Ashtar Command consciousness, I'm activated at that point. When I'm not operating in that consciousness, I'm not activated in that point.
Right.
But I am activated right now to help you. I'm operating a very high, powerful frequency, and I will never, ever have any negative ETs. They've tried to interfere with my show, and they'll just be blasted into the universe. They'll never get close. Never.
Thank you. That's wonderful.
All right. Any other things you'd like to say as you have my Ashtar Command people there with you? They will actually present themselves before they leave as a gift. They might just show themselves to you.
Okay.
Don't be afraid. They are human. They are beautiful people. And if they show themselves to you, the only difference is they're a little bit taller than you are.
And I have seen like a really large person sitting next to me when I wake up in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And then they disappear.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
I never heard it. Well, now you're sharing that story. I'd have to read into it more. Can you tell me a little bit more about that person sitting next to you?
They're very large, like a giant.
Like a giant.
And I don't know if they're trying to protect me. They don't hurt me, and I don't feel any fear.
Mm-hmm.
But
when you say giant, what do they look like besides being giant? Do they look like
red hair and a red beard?
That would be. I get that would be. Yeah, you're probably connecting with what is considered a giant, as we know on Earth. So that is different than the reptilians that have been, not the reptilians, the Zeta. So that being just on the little bit I'm getting, obviously didn't do anything to you.
No.
I think they were trying to come to help you.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, no, that'd be absolutely correct. They were a giant and they had a red beard, human, but taller. I mean, much bigger, right?
Bigger.
Yeah. The giants do exist, and the giants, in this particular case, the giants were here. They were always here, but the fact that you had the experience of that was most recently in your history of your story is different energy than was happening with these Zeta who were trying to cause problems for you.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful part.
A couple of weeks before this guy appeared, there were shadows. I think there was a Zeta here under the bed.
Yeah, they were following you.
Yeah, darting around, and then after that, I prayed for protection, and then I saw that giant.
Yeah, see? Yeah, the giants are also part of the galactic levels of light, so that's good. That's good that you had that happen. But now, this other level, which is our gifting of you of the Ashtar Command people in your house and outside the perimeters, they're in the outer areas right now. The other ones are in the woods.
Yeah,
and our Ashtar Command people are the best ever. They're in the woods, cloaked, and they're checking every aspect within a 20, 30-mile radius of the wooded area, and they're scanning. And if there's anything negative, any negative ETs there, they are going to capture them in a nanosecond, and they're going to be put on a ship and taken to a holding center where they're going to be taken off planet.
Now, do the Zetas make noises like an ambulance?
I don't know about that. I don't know if they can do that. I'm not sure what noises they make, but I do know that the stories I've heard from people that we've helped, I'm not heard about. No, it's just they do things, various things where they've implanted implants. They've they've abducted people on their ships. Some of them over the years. In your case, they were just really terrorizing you when you were at the lake, and they definitely followed you to your mobile home park, trying to interfere with you. Has been going on ever since you left.
And I do have a foreign object by my in 2002 I had my gallbladder taken out, and there's a foreign object there. I saw it on an MRI.
Okay, so now that we know that, I want the Ashtar Command people, why they're there, and I'm not sure how this works. Again, now that you told me this, I don't even know if this is possible. So I'm not going to make up a story here. But if it is possible, I'd like the medical people of the command to take out the object that is implanted in her. I want you to, while she's sleeping or whatever, before you leave, if you scan her body and see the implanted object that's been put in her, please take it out. If they take it out, you're not going to feel any pain. They'll be able to dematerialize the object out of your body, and the molecular structure of it will be dematerialized. However that works, I don't know, but I'm told that that's what they can do.
Okay, that would be great, because it does cause me pain now.
It does. Okay.
Wow.
I'm asking really, I'm hoping they will do this to take the implanted object out of her physical body. I would ask that be done. I don't know that what I'm asking can be done. I'm very honest on my program, but since you've mentioned it, I'll see if they can do that. Or if they can't do it, they can't. But if they can, I would ask that they help her in that way.
Will they tell me before they leave if they've taken it out?
Yes, they will. I'm getting communications. They will tell you if they've taken it out. They will let you know.
And what if I have more than one implant? What if I have more than one?
If you have more than one implant, they're going to scan your whole body for implants. If there's more than one, they can, and if they are able to break down the materialization of the physical object in your body or objects, they will just dematerialize the objects out of your body.
Okay.
So they can basically make them just disappear, come out of your body, reappear, and they'll be able basically to destroy the objects.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask them to do that. And again, for people watching this, I don't make up stories. This is the first time I've heard of this situation with the objects in her body or object implanted. So if this works, then that's something new for me that they're able to do this. I am doing absolutely nothing here. All I'm doing is facilitating, helping people. As host of the show, when I have this happen, I have to take action. I can't sit back and let this happen to somebody. I just can't. And so I'm going to ask them to do that too, to take the implant out or implants out. And please let me know if they did that and you know that you had your implants taken out. Let me know before the weekend is over.
Okay, I will.
And I'll have you back. I'll have you back on here. I promise.
Yeah, because I've desperately wanted to talk to you this week. So I'm so glad I got through.
I'm glad you got through too. I'm really, really glad you did too. You're very much loved by our Ashtar Command, and I send my love to you. And
thank you.
It fills my heart up if I can help somebody, because that's what we're here to do. That's the real mission, is to help each other. And if I've been activated and I've been put into a position by the command in my radio show and my talk show here to just do more than interview people. I originally started this show as an interview show. And now I've been activated that I can actually send spaceships from the command over locations and help people. And to me, I thank my father and those on the ship for giving me the ability to do this. And I'm just happy to do it. I really am.
Thank you. You're so wonderful.
Well, thank you. Well, you are too. And I just thank you for being here. They're going to be with you. They're in the room with you. Once they scan the 30 to 40 mile radius of your location, the other Ashtar Command people will come back towards the house, do another scanning of everybody. They're going to scan all the different trailers. The other people won't know they're there. They're going to just make sure everything is a clean sweep and that there's no energies lurking around that's trying to interfere with you or anybody else in that trailer park.
All right, thank you. Because, you know, we do have kind of a basement under our trailers. And I hear a lot of noises under there, but hopefully I won't
Okay,
hear
so
more.
you won't. So now that you mentioned the basement, I want 2 or 3 of the Ashtar Command people to go into the basement of the trailers and check and make sure and clean sweep all those basements for any existing Zeta or any other ET beings that are trying to cause problems or that are hiding. I want you to take them out right now, round them up, and put them on one of the other ships that to the holding center to be interrogated and then taken off planet. Now, for people watching this, you're saying, how could he do this? Believe me when I say everything I've done and any of my guests I've had on here, they'll vouch for me. Everything I am doing is real. Everything.
Yeah.
And I know you can because you're feeling the energy. You're just, you know they're there.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
Roz, thank you for being here and keep me updated, okay?
Thank you. I sure will.
All right, Roz.
Okay.
We send our love to you.
Thank you. Sending my love.
Okay, and like I said, when I hear stories like this, folks, the commander doesn't fool around. You know, I have no use for negative ETs interfering with people. I have no use for that. I don't care if they're reptilians. I don't care if they're Zeta. If they start pulling that garbage with people, and we're going to send a spaceship over to the location, and we're going to round them up. And I mean that when I say that. I am telling you right now on this show, not only am I a talk show host, and I hear your stories, but I also am an active talk show host, meaning I have abilities to do certain things that some other talk show hosts don't have on TV channels or whatever. They're just people with suits and ties on interviewing former military officials. I'm way more than that, you know, way more than that. And I'm not afraid of anything. I came here to kick some cosmic butt. I came here to bust the matrix. And that also means going after the negative ETs that are lurking around all over the planet, trying to hide and do, you know, cause problems for people. That's not going to happen. Not on my time. Nope. That's why this show is number 1, because of what we do here. Yes, we do interviews. We do have great discussions, but we do more than just have great discussions. We are proactive in helping people. When they need help, we're right here to do it. I ask nothing of them. I just want to give and help them. That's what the Ashtar Command is here to do. And I welcome everybody to the show. It's now 12:41. Please show your support for the show. Become a subscriber. Everybody tap on there. Thank you for all Riverblue for the helmet. Show your support for what I'm doing. Go to my Venmo account. You can do $5, $10, or $15 on my Venmo. That's my Cash App. I've never mentioned it too much, but please do that. Deborah, good to see you. Southern Gypsy says, I've never had negative experiences, but I've seen a ship and interesting things in the sky. Southern Gypsy, Southern Gypsy, we'll have you on too. It was really interesting. And the thing is, this show is going to be recorded. So when I had JD on earlier, the Ashtar Command came in there and affected his telephone. His telephone went crazy. The energy was so strong from them coming into the environment of his home, it affected his cellular phone. And you heard it earlier. His whole thing went crazy. I've been on 190 ships. The Hathis destroyer. You've been on 190 spaceships. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself, Hathis destroyer? When you say you've been on ships of light or ships of who? So when you send Ashtar Command, they are invisible, right? Yes, Debbie, they are. They're invisible. The people, their ships are invisible. They're cloaked. The space people are invisible until the person feels comfortable enough, and then they will reveal themselves before they leave. I'm reading comments here. I am a Zeta hybrid. So you were, your family, some in your family was abducted to be a Zeta hybrid. And Ben Feather says, I live by Skinwalker Ranch. So I want to bring you up, I think. Let's see. I want to interview you. And again, I also have a lot of questions. That's what I do. We'll see where my energy is here. Laura, good to have you with us. And if anybody's had, and River, thank you, if you've had visitations, now some of you might have had positive encounters with space people. You know, if you had that too, I want to hear your stories. Jennifer says, years ago, thank you, Roxie, for your subscription. Let's see. Years ago, my younger daughter took a picture of an eclipse. When we viewed the picture later, saw a UFO. Yeah. Usually you'll see in a picture stuff like that because the human eye cannot see what the photo can take out of a lens that doesn't have any limitation. Let's see here. The UFO must have been cloaked because we didn't see it. Yes, it was probably most definitely cloaked. Cancer, I think I might have. I've been getting so many many emails. I looked on my emails and I didn't see it. So I checked all my emails and my spam filter this afternoon. I didn't see it. But if you send it again, I'm going to take another look because I didn't see it. Let's see here. And again, you're watching Encounters, the #1 spiritual UFO talk show. Patrick Henry. I've had 3.5 to 4 hours of missing time when I was young. Quite the story. Remember it. Patrick Henry. Let's see. Patrick Henry. That's weird. I don't know how somebody with 3 followers can come on live, but Patrick Henry is able to come on live and he only has 3 followers. I don't know how that works, so we're going to try to bring him on here. I just don't understand. I've had a few people with very little followers and they can go on live. That's kind of interesting. Let's see here. We're going to have Patrick Henry with us on Encounters, the #1 spiritual UFO talk show on every social media platform. Patrick, welcome.
Hang on a second. I can't hear very well when you put my headphones in.
Oh, go ahead. No problem.
Okay. Yeah, I lived in California, and I lived in a place called Santa Ana.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to live at these places called the Santa Ana Gardens. And from time to time, you'd see things in the sky, or at least I did. I was just a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so one evening, I had 2 older brothers, and we was building the go-kart outside. And my mom had called us in for dinner. And so my brothers were, used to beat me up. They didn't want me fooling with the go-kart. They wanted to build it, Yeah. So I figured while they were in there eating, I'm going to do something to that go-kart and build something on that go-kart.
Right.
So, I'm out there, and I remember putting on a wheel and nailing 3 nails into this wheel on the go-kart.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was in a kneeling position. I had this hammer in my hand, right? And I woke up and I seen this craft in the sky because I felt kind of euphoric almost. The only way I can explain it.
Yeah.
So when that happened, I ran into my parents, and they used to play this game called Back Alley, a card game. And on this card game, you go from 1 to 13, in opposite direction, and it's 4 players.
Mm-hmm.
So I ran into the house, and I told my parents, come and see. And they said, my mom just looked at me, and she says, I said, where's my brothers? And she says, well, they're sleeping. I said, no, they're not. You just called us in for dinner. She says, no, honey, that was hours ago.
Hours ago?
Yeah. I said, nuh-uh, Mom. I said, you just called us in. I said, come and see what's outside. I said, there's a spacecraft outside. I I knew it was some kind of spaceship, but I didn't know what it was.
Right, right.
And so they wanted to finish this hand up, but what was weird was when I ran back outside, it was still there. So I ran
Oh,
back.
wow.
I ran back into the house again,
Hmm.
and I threw my hand up. And as soon as I threw my hand up, I still had the hammer in my hand. It was exactly 12, 12, 12 on the clock,
Wow. Wow.
right? And so as my parents, I can hear them scooting out the chairs, and my Uncle Joe and Aunt Ronnie's coming out the door.
Hmm.
That thing goes across the building, flies up, and disappears, and it's gone. And they
As
didn't
soon
get
as,
to see it.
as soon as they came out, that's when it left, right?
Yes, but I think, I don't. I get little glimpses of stuff, but I think that I went somewhere for 3.5 hours.
Yeah, well, you had missing time. In your
Yeah,
case, this is interesting, Patrick. So, in your missing time experience, I don't think you had a encounter.
not at
I'm getting
all.
it was you had a positive encounter, but you had 3 hours of missing time during the encounter.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and I can't explain what I done. I just get like little glimpses, and I can't like really put them together.
Yeah.
But I get flashes of stuff, even to this day.
Hmm. Hmm.
But like even when I dreamed, I used to dream like having flying dreams,
Hmm.
and flying through like weeping willow trees, and everything being white except one
Hmm.
red, something red in my dreams. It happened all the
Wow.
time. Like one red leaf, or
Yeah.
but and I guess that's why my favorite tree is a weeping willow, because I used to tell my parents and everybody in my dreams, "Look, Mom, I can fly." And
Right.
and the weird thing about it is my aunt had a twin that died, and I used to think my Aunt Sue would take me on these flying dreams,
Hmm.
but it was my Aunt Sandy.
Hmm.
She died when she was like 4.
Four.
So
Okay.
I think this is what like connected somehow. I've always thought so.
Yeah. Well, you would know. I mean, you're the one having it. So when you had the missing time, you're watching Encounters, folks. For all our viewers, Patrick's our guest in the Santa Ana area of California,
No, this is
and
where it happened. I live in
that
Tennessee now.
you're in Tennessee now, but it was in Santa Ana, California at the time.
Yeah.
So, and when he was in Santa Ana at the time, he had this missing time, and when you had the missing time, obviously you do remember that you feel like you had missing time. So therefore, go with your instincts and understand that most likely you did have missing time.
Yeah, I was not afraid at all. I was
Hmm.
very interested in what happened,
Hmm.
and I've always have been, but I never felt fear. There was never fear in it,
Hmm.
ever.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. You know yourself. You know your human consciousness, your human physical nature would know. If it was negative, you would say, "Oh, Commander, I had the worst experience ever. I ran into the house and locked the doors." It
I,
wasn't that way for you. You
I,
had a
I
completely different experience.
well, I mean, the only way I know how to put it, I think it was more angelic. To
Angelic.
yeah, to have a lack of
So,
words.
so do you think this spaceship that you were seeing, and then everyone comes out and it's gone? I get the feeling that the
I
space.
can describe it to you.
Yeah, I want you to. I think that the beings that were in that spaceship, you were the one that was meant to see it, not all the other people.
Well, yeah. I kind of figured that. Okay,
Yeah.
so what I don't. You ever seen that um oh, what's that stupid old space movie?
Um.
It's old.
Oh, oh, the something family.
No. I
The
mean,
Robinson,
it's like from the 50s old or
the
something.
50s old. I don't remember something from the 50s.
50s or 60s. Where invasion of Mars, or
Oh, you're talking about War of the Worlds?
yeah, maybe War of the Worlds. Okay, well, it was kind of like that, but the thing about it was, it had a upper part, right, and it was pure white. I mean, this thing was like see-through white, but
Mm-hmm.
like, I mean, bright, and it had like this tube going down, and then had the small part of the craft up top had a connecting like tube, and then a big part on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it appeared to me in the sky, and that's what it looked like. But it was the only way. That's how what it looked like to me.
Wow.
But it was pure white. But I never felt afraid. I actually felt very drawn. I wanted to go back. I didn't want to. I wanted to, and I
That's
don't
why
know.
I wanted to say I took out the person that's spamming our site, our broadcast, this Michelle person. So whoever she is telling everyone to inbox her directly. I just took her out and blocked her, folks. So, but go ahead, Patrick, continue.
Where was I at?
You're talking about.
Yeah, and but the thing I've never been. I don't. The one thing, even as a kid, I after that happened, I had this energy that like beyond energy. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I just hardly ever sleep. To this day, I don't sleep a lot.
Yeah.
Do
you think about what happened when you did see that ship, and you have a good knowledge of what you've experienced and what you feel like, the fact that maybe they're angelic beings that connected with you at the angelic level. The angelic levels have spaceships too. People don't realize this. I think the angelic levels just fly around with wings, but they're on spaceships. The angelic realm is part of the Ashtar Command.
What I kind of remember about that is the inside, like the glimpses I get, it was almost like the inside was like mother of pearl. Is the only way I can explain it.
Yeah.
But like the walls were smooth and cool.
Yeah.
It
seemed like a really pleasant environment.
Yeah, it was. But I don't remember
how would you like to reconnect with the angelic levels that you remember the bits and pieces of?
Oh, I've always often thought of that.
Okay, so the first thing you do is you need to clear your consciousness. So whatever you're doing right now, that's not going to help you do it.
That's where I have a problem.
Okay.
My mind never shuts off. I can't shut my mind off, even when I'm sleeping.
Well, you can actually do it. Once I can at least help you try to do that. So the first thing is, number one, to clear yourself of all the energy in your body. I'm going to help you right here.
Okay.
So what you're going to do is, first of all, I want you to say, the first thing you're going to say is something I do with people sometimes. And this is going to also switch your consciousness and your brain to kind of calm down a little bit, because our brain is very active in the human body, and it tends to always want to be active. And sometimes, unless you can control the mind, which I do control my mind, you can control it to stop doing things. So number one, you're first going to say to yourself right now, just say to your mind, I'm going to control you from being very active. So tell your mind that tell your mind simply.
Say it within myself, or
you're going to say it within yourself. And you're going to say it verbally, saying, "Mind, please stop being so active all the time."
Okay, mind, please stop being so active all the time.
And when you say it again, you're going to say, "Mind, please stop being active all the time."
Mind, please stop being active all the time.
Okay, now you're going to do something.
Active.
Right. So I'm going to do something else with you here while you're on the show. And it seems like just words, but it's not. It's going to be something to help activate you. I want you to say to yourself, I am a cosmic Christed being of light.
I am a cosmic what?
I am a cosmic Christed being of light.
Cosmic Christic being of light.
No, I'm going to say it again. I am a cosmic Christed.
I am a cosmic
Christed being of light.
I am a cosmic Christic being of light.
So I get the sense, I'm not going to say the word, but I get the sense you're having something that's making you cough. every few minutes?
Yeah.
Whatever that is, you need to, I'm being told by the command, you need to stop using whatever that is. It's clogging up your consciousness.
It's smoking. I've smoked since I was 6 years old.
Yeah, they're going to work on you. I'm not sending any ships over there, but they're going to work with you very gently, and they're going to slowly get you to wean off of the smoking and to stop smoking, because that's affecting the ability to have a clear consciousness, and your body is your temple. So they
Yeah.
want you to. They're going to work with you on your sleeping state to help clear you from doing that.
Can I ask you a question? So
Yeah.
do you believe in the Father, or?
So let me explain something, because I am from off planet. I come from Mars originally. My human parents no longer here. They left many years ago. They're gone. But I will tell you, yes, I believe in what I call God, which is universal. Off planet, all the space people from all the planetary worlds beyond Earth believe in one creator, one God that has created everything in love and light. And in terms of Jesus, if you're talking about the Father, Jesus is a space being. Jesus is a beautiful, loving person who is very spiritual. He is a Christed being of light, but people on Earth, in the religious parts of planet Earth, they look at Jesus as being Jesus Christ, but Jesus was actually a star seed that came to Earth to enlighten the people of the planet, and he was misunderstood, and he went back off planet many long time ago. So yes, when you ask me that question, I will tell you that Jesus, or the Father, which is Jesus, is basically a very loving, very very beautiful being of light.
Because that's something I've studied for 29 years to have whatever connection,
Mm-hmm.
spiritually.
Yeah. Well, they're telling me, the command's telling me, they're going to work on your health with the smoking. I'm not going to mention that word really, but they're going to work on you, and they're going to spend some time with you. 2 or 3 of them, very quietly, they will work with you. They're going to work on your consciousness, and they're going to shift your consciousness that has been doing this since 6 years old. It's going to take a little bit of time, but you're going to find yourself slowly deciding that you don't want to do that anymore. It's affecting your physical temple of your inner body, and they want to help clear that, because that's going to affect your ability to do a number of things. They're going to work with you in a very positive way.
Yeah, I've never liked smoking. I've just done it out of a nervous habit.
Yeah, although I can hear the nervousness. They're going to calm your consciousness down. Once they calm your consciousness down, they're going to shift it, and you'll not have to do that anymore, and you're going to be less nervous. You'll have nothing to be nervous about. They're going to build up your ability to be integrated in a centered level of light, and you'll no longer, down the road, I would say, they're going to work really diligently to clear that out of your consciousness, so you don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, because I've given up drinking, and of course I used to smoke pot, and I give that up, because I don't need that anymore. I've learned I just don't need that.
Yeah, well, this thing can affect you very, very negatively, so they're going to work on you to get you off of that, and then you're going to have a very clear temple, your
Okay.
physical body. So that's my gift to you.
All right, I appreciate that.
All right, Patrick. Well, I thank you for being here, brother, and I thank you for watching our show too.
Yeah, I just popped in for some reason. And you said I wasn't supposed to be able to get in there, but I did.
Yeah, I'm not even going to question it. I had somebody on the other night with 3 or 4 followers, and I don't know how this works. I don't care anymore. I just, I'm glad you came up.
I think it's intervention.
Probably it is, and I have no control over that. So, all right, Patrick, my friend.
All right,
they're going to hang out with you and work with you for a while.
Okay, I might forget the things you told me to say, but I'll work on that.
And also use, if you have YouTube, I want you to listen to higher dimensional space music. So on YouTube, there's a thing called ambient meditation music. You can use that too, and that'll help calm your consciousness down. And the Ashtar Command can work with you even if they're not in the room. They can work on your energy level remotely. So they'll be working with you for a little bit until they get you off of the smoking completely. And then you're going to have your whole physical body be a lot healthier. and you'll be able to have a clear temple within your own being.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Many blessings to you, brother.
You too.
All right. And that's a blessing. We're definitely amped up here, folks. We are totally amped up here, and we're helping folks. We have 51,009. Everybody tap on the screen. Everybody share and like and love. Thank you, Sarah says. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. All the people gifting, thank you very much. I appreciate all of you, new and old people. And the thing about me is, even if I don't know you, I love you. Because the Ashtar Command, the people I am from, they love all of humanity, all of the life forms on Earth, and we come from the highest frequency of love. And that is the only frequency I'd rather be in than any other frequency ever. Kit Kat, thank you, sister. Thank you so much. You know? Oh, thank you, Sarah says. Again, months ago, Stargirl, thank you. Months ago, last year, when I came on TikTok, I had no ability to do any of this. I worked all my life coming to Earth, and I didn't know what my abilities were. But I've only been recently, in months before this, I started being activated and told that I can start doing this with the spaceships and our space people on the ships. So I'm very humble about it. I don't have any ego. I just know that when people have problems with negative ET situations on the show, I have to go into Operation Active mode, and I have to help those people. Do I believe Sonny Miller in reincarnation? Yes, I actually do. Reincarnation is a real thing. People do reincarnate if they have not finished their karma, or if they don't have any karma, they can reincarnate if they wish to come back to this particular realm. If they don't want to reincarnate, they can go beyond this particular existence, back on a spaceship to their home planet or wherever they came from. They have that choice as well. Thank you, Rita, and we love you as well. Mick Macca, are you governed or centered by the I'm not centered by anything. I work with the Ashtar Command, which oversees all the galactic groups. There really isn't a galactic federation. Everything goes by the Ashtar Command, which is a sort of like the United. It's like having United Nations for all the peaceful planetary worlds of light, all the Christed levels of light. So no, I'm not inhibited or limited by anything. Yeah, and let's see. Jersey for Life says, I believe in reincarnation. And reincarnation is real, And I'll answer your questions. I'm certainly enjoying all of you. And I love people, so I love the interaction we're having. I've been doing interviews for years on my radio show. My radio show is every Sunday morning, 11:30 to 1 on NPR Pacifica Radio, WESUFM.org. Thank you, Pygmy. We're glad you came on the other night, and I hope you have a good weekend. So welcome everybody coming in here. You're watching Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. I'm your host, CmdrAleon. Just some background information. I am from Mars. Mars is a planet of between 10 and 15 million inhabitants. Unlike any information you're hearing on the internet, anything you've read on websites, you're talking to the real deal here. If you want to know anything about my planet Mars, I can tell you. That's where I come from. I probably have come from other places beyond there, but Mars is the most recent place that I have existed on before coming to Earth. I am also with the Ashtar Command. If you don't know what that is, that would be the highest levels of light of space beings from different planetary worlds of peace. They are the forces of light that exist throughout the multiverse, and I am part of that realm of consciousness. Let's see here. Oh, Sunny Miller, thank you as well. I'm a truck driver, Jose says. When I would stop by something, I think it's Calumet, Oregon, about 25 to 30 miles south of Calumet, Oregon. I think we have a story here. Thank you, Paul Williams. Uh, 97, a big rig would always shut down. I think we might bring Jose up here. I think there's a story here. Let me see. I'm reading people's comments. I'm reading Jose's story, and I think it's related to a UFO sighting. I don't know that yet. We're going to find out. I think we're getting close. Every time. Let me see. I'm going to bring Jose up here. I think it's related to a UFO sighting. Black Diamond, were you wanting to share something? Same spot. Deborah says, I think a space person came to my mom while she was in a coma. Very interesting, Deborah. Right now I'm reading people's comments. You're watching Encounters, the late night #1 spiritual UFO talk show of any show out in the world on YouTube, Instagram, I don't care, on Travel Channel. They don't do any live shows anyway, it doesn't matter. History Channel or Discovery, they can't even come close to Encounters. None of them can. Now, I don't have the big suit on. I don't have the big studio with the big microphones, but who needs all that stuff? That's just all material things. All I need to do is do a good show here and be the real deal. Hey, you're a weirdo like Troy. Good to have you with us. Oh, Black Diamond. Okay, let's see here. Black Diamond. Black Diamond, change your setting to public. Change your setting to public. If you have to come back out and come back in, go into your settings, change it to public, and we definitely will put you on here, and we'd like to hear your story. But you got to change your setting. Let's see here. The Dawn. I see ships from my back deck. I live right next to a military training facility. The Dawn sees ships. She lives near a training facility. A lot of interesting comments tonight. A lot of interesting stories. Michelle, I think it's Michael. Let's see. SF Kimba. Thank you for your show, Commander. I'm a fan. Thank you, SF Kimber. Without you, I wouldn't have a show, so I appreciate that very much. Okay, so... Oh, okay, Ashley. Rosalinda says, years ago, after seeing a UFO, I had a headache for a year and seizures. Heard beautiful music right before. Huh. Thank you, Karen Morgan. Yeah, that's over a period of time. Over the years, I was always connected, but I wasn't always activated as I became an adult. Now, specifically now is when I've really been activated a lot with downloads. A lot now. And I am reading people's comments. If you've never been on the show before and you'd like to share your story, if you've had visitations with space beings, if you've had been documenting spaceships, what I call non-terrestrial craft, if you've seen Bigfoot, merpeople, mermaids, like I say, merpeople, fairies, the Bigfoot, you may join us on the show. You have to have, supposedly, you have to have over 50 followers to go on live on the audio, and over 800, if it's still 800, I don't know, on TikTok, to go on live with the visual part of the camera. You have to be over 18, no kids on the camera, no foul language or cursing, no smoking, no drinking, no anything, no drugs, nothing like that. And let's see who we got going here. And Lorena's going to be our next guest on the #1 talk show. Lorena, welcome to the show, Encounters.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Hi, Lorena. Oh, it's a pleasure having you. Where are you located?
Right now, I'm in Pennsylvania, Northeast.
Northeast. Are you in a country area or more in a built-up suburban area? Where are you located?
Like I could walk to Delaware, and I'm right on the river, Delaware
You're
River.
right on, and you're on the river. Okay. So, tell us, I always like to find out the beginning and the background of your experiences related to the ET UFO area. So give us a background as to yourself and what happened.
Oh, I'm somebody that I question everything. It just needs to make sense to me. And I guess my journey started with questioning religion, then getting into science, and science answering the questions of religion is almost like a spirit science type of thing. Almost like I'll say 2011, I just relearned everything, and I only honestly believes what feels right to me. I use my
Right.
emotions as a compass.
Right. That's not the way, that's always the way to do it. You have to use your own inner guidance, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, there you are. Welcome. There's a beautiful person right there with a beautiful smile. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
So you're absolutely correct. I've always been the same way about my inner guidance. It's not what other people tell me, it's what I feel. And if I go by other people's feelings, I can't, because they didn't go through my experience. And I tell people, you think you're wearing my shoes when I tell you I've been on a spaceship or through this or that. And you're saying, oh, you can't have done that. You're coming from a perspective, that imaginary person, that they're not wearing your shoes. They haven't had your experience. So how could they even understand it,
Yeah, when you limit your beliefs, you limit your experience. Yeah.
Absolutely true. So tell us, I know you've had some things happen. Let's get into some of your experiences.
I think the most interesting one I've had was as a past life regression through self hypnosis, and it was guided up into a point. It was almost like you see this door, and it's illuminated on the other side, and you open the door, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
hallway with all these
Right.
doors, and one of them
Mm-hmm.
opens, and that one
Right.
is one of your past lives. So I went through that door, and it was just beautiful. The water was a different color, the sky was a different color. I knew I wasn't on Earth, and I saw a being, and it was a human. It was a humanoid being with cat-like features.
Yes.
I had never seen anything like this before or heard of it, so I knew it came from me, a part of me. I'm assume like a higher, more spiritual part of me.
Right.
So well, once I came out of this hypnosis, I started researching. So what I found was I was a Lyran from the Lyrian constellation, and
Yes, you're absolutely right. Someone's saying, Lyra, they see that in your energy field. This is going to be a trip. Go ahead, continue.
well, it was just confirmation for me, and somebody that wants to know how things work. Confirmation is awesome. My next experience was setting intentions. I have the idea, or my belief is that we create our reality. So I started setting intentions through my dad. Would wake up and say, "Hey, this is going to happen."
Oops.
Yeah, or this is going to happen before work, and it happens. I get confirmation, and it's just like it's really empowering.
Yeah, you're very connected. There. A matter of fact, this is the strangest thing right now that's happening. And if you're not used to the show and you're new, our space family watches the show on our Ashtar Command ship. My father, my mother Luna, my father's Rubar, and my two sisters and brother. There's a whole bunch of people on the ship. They have monitoring scanners. They're watching our show right now, just to let you know. And they're, matter of fact, you have a very beautiful energy. I just want to let you know your energy is basically. You are definitely connected with the people that you just mentioned. You have a connection with them, and they also work with the Ashtar Command. Your energy is absolutely very high vibration. You already know that, I think.
Um, Thank you. And normally, I believe it is. I'm not at my high. I'm not on my highest flying disc, and I am aware. I'm aware of like Bashar. and how they said, why watch TV or anything when we could watch you guys, we're
Right.
enough entertainment. Right. But thank you for sharing that with me. All I know about myself is what I know about myself, which is not everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm working on getting my energy back up to that, positive. I can't say I don't have positive energy right now. I
Mm-hmm.
try to stay positive, but I know I'm not at my best. And I could
Mm-hmm.
use some guidance. I know I'm not alone in this.
You're not. A matter of fact, there's I'm going to share some stuff with you. This is really kind of crucial. There's my friend April's not on right now in Vermont, but there's 5 of us that are going to be. April's our selected person from our space family on the ships. She had nothing to do with it. Starting last year, we met through TikTok. I came on here last year. I knew nobody, so I do the show. I met this person, April, and found out we had a relationship off planet. Like our families were close. So off planet, it's like, when you have your neighbor and you have really good relationships with that family next door, they're almost like cousins. Well, April's like a sister, like I'd be like a brother. And so in that relationship, there were a number of people, including Kit Kat, who's on here. She's in Long Island, myself in Connecticut, another person, Chester, who's not on right now, and my friend Johnny's in New Jersey. So there are groups of 5, and this is going to start happening. We have a woman here that I'm going to bring up because I think you need to get to meet her. She's part of a group that's going to have what you call a group of 5. And the group of 5 are people that are going to be working with what we call the Ashtar Command. And the group of 5 will be doing mission work to help the whole planet of, billions of human beings. So I want to introduce you to Deborah. Deborah, say hello to Lorena.
Hello, Lorena.
Hi, Dad.
Hi. So I watch the show like almost every night. And Ashtar's been telling me that I was fixing to have another person from my group come along, and I wasn't expecting it to happen so quickly, but here we are, and so I needed to let you know that you are I'm thinking you're my number 3.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, and again, I have nothing to do with this, but I also felt that that you guys need to connect. She's going to have 5 people in her group specifically, and as soon as you came on and I saw your smile and your energy, I read energy.
Yeah.
I know you operate in when you think you're not operating your highest or your best self. We all go through that because we live on this planet, of course. But you are on a very high cosmic level of light, and it shows in every essence of your smile. It just it just shows it right there. And so I'm connecting you with
Yeah.
Deborah, and I think you're one of the 3 people that'll be working. She's going to have 5 people in her group. There's going to be groups of 5 all over the world, and these other groups we don't know, and they're being selected by our space people on the spaceships of the Ashtar Command. These are very beautiful men and women. They have families from other planets, and I think you and Deborah will be working. Deborah requested to come on live. I felt that there is a connection, so I want you to become friends and get to know each other a little bit.
For sure. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, as soon as she was coming on, he was like, pay attention, and she come on, and he's like, that's the one, that's her, and I'm like, oh, okay, because this is the first time that it's happened naturally for me. And the other person kind of came to me because I was like, Ashtar, I don't know what I'm doing, like I need help. And so she finally had contacted me because he was pushing her to do that. And I do have a question. Have you been having any kind of downloads, like say you're watching something and like a voice comes in your head and it's like kind of telling you, like teaching you or something? Like you're learning in your own head. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like,
I just, inner like kind of voice guidance.
Yeah.
I think it's like telepathy. It's basically that what the space people do will give you a message telepathically instead of like, we're talking here verbally, speaking. They speak through consciousness. So it's called telepathy. So I guess she's asking you, Deborah's asking, do you ever get telepathic messages?
Only thing that I feel that I'm receiving is that no matter how I feel about where I'm at, I'm supposed to be here. I kind of feel
Right.
like I'm just waiting.
Right.
I've been trying to make things happen, but it doesn't feel good to do anything. And I've kind of heard like why am I where I'm at? I moved to San Antonio, but I ended up back where I'm at, and I just think that the energy of maybe the Appalachian Mountains, or maybe just the environment, or maybe it's
You're in
something
the
I just have
you're in
no
the
idea.
so you're in the Appalachian Mountains where you are, Lorena, correct?
Well, yeah, it runs right through.
Yeah, interesting.
So
There's a lot of
Wow.
I don't know if it's
yeah.
energy or if it's something for me here, but I've been really, my biggest concern is like, what am I going to do and why am I here? Like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Ashtar says you are right where you're supposed to be.
And that's
Yeah.
what I've been getting. And that's the only thing I'm really getting that I understand. Like,
Hmm.
where are you supposed to be? I don't, yet know why.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, I got to say, really, I think Deborah is one of the people that has also been working with April in Vermont. And I think it was April that I was told by the command that you were one in your area, and you're going to have 5 people in your group. And I think,
Yeah.
Lorena, so when we say 5, and I will explain this because I've been doing this for a long time, that means that you'll be the second 5 on the earth, that when your time comes, you'll be eventually going on the ships physically. You're not going to dream you're going on the ships, and you'll be taken to places to learn certain things and then come back to Earth to help people on the planet. So all 5 of you are going to have a responsibility more than most humans, because you're going to be coming back with information from our space people
Has
that's going
that
to help
not
people.
happened already?
Not yet. Not this kind of thing. No, this is very new. So the groups of 5 have not happened yet off planet. It's they're waiting for the fleets of spaceships to come. Though, well, they're before the fleets of spaceships come, they're still coming. Large fleets of ships of light are coming to Earth now that are not going to be seen by many people. Some will be seen, and when it gets to that point, right before that point, the groups of 5 will be taken off planet, and you'll be guided with information. You'll be learning things, going places, and then coming back with the information. You'll also be activated in your conscious level. They're going to activate you. They're going to activate all of us in these groups of 5. And then when we complete the mission of what we're supposed to do, those activated things will be given back that we don't need to use anymore. But so yeah, you have some beautiful things coming up.
God, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Just to let you know.
Yeah, it's really amazing once it starts happening. Like because you found out now that you do have a mission. I'm sure you've always felt like you were here for something bigger, right? Like you just didn't know,
I
like a
knew
bigger
I was
purpose.
here to serve others and
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
set an example. Like I knew I couldn't. Like the only way to I want I'm here to help change, but I also know the only way is just to be different and set an example. And
Yes,
Right.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's all it needs to be. You're setting the example and being different, because you are different, because you elevate a vibration that I saw right away, a very vibrant
Hmm.
light energy that is it's not an earth-based thing. You brought your essence of your spiritual being from off planet into your physical being, which we all have that are awakened, and you have that in your own, Lorena, your own physical being has that vibrant energy. You will attract many people to you because of your essence of your light, and your light is very pure light. So that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
yeah, thank you.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So you and Deborah
Uh,
can connect. I can't believe what time it is. It's almost 1:30. I lose track of time on this show. I have no idea what time it is, because at this moment, since I've been on here, I've been helping so many people. I've been lost. I don't know what time it is. The time has just not existed.
It
But I
does.
want you guys to connect, and I thank you both for being here. I'm going to try to do one more interview, and you're now a friend of the show, Lorena, and
It was
beautiful
nice to
being of
meet you,
light.
Lorena. Thank you so
And
much for coming on tonight.
and that
You have no idea.
Thank
and I want
you. And I've heard of Ashtar before. I can't
yeah
pinpoint it from
yeah
Yeah,
where.
I'll be
well
messaging you
Thank you.
yeah you guys
on
you
TikTok, and
can
maybe we can exchange numbers and talk a little more, a little bit deeper into it. Because now that you know who you are, you will start getting he eases Ashtar will ease you into it. You will start getting more downloads and things like that.
I'm
Things will
open.
really start happening.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. You guys are both a blessing. I'm glad this is happening. This is what's going to happen on my show, folks. This is why it's not your normal UFO show. I don't talk about nuts and bolts. I don't talk with former military people in suits. I'm way different than all those other talk shows. I'm the real deal here. And Deborah knows that. Now Lorena knows that.
Oh yeah.
All my guests know that. I definitely am here to bust the matrix on this planet. Hey, Lorena, thank you for being here. I'm
Thanks for
following
Thank
you,
you,
Deborah.
Commander.
until
I
next
hope you
Have a
guys
good
connect,
night.
and you too. And we're going to bring up our next guest. Let me see here. Let me get you guys here. I'm going to do this here. Our next guest is patiently waiting. I appreciate. Hey, Black. I think it's Black. Is my next. I'm excited to have this person on here. Black Diamond. Hey, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing?
We're doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I've been watching your show for quite some time now. Um, I really enjoy your show, especially the interviews you have. I've been watching you help quite a few people for quite some time now.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and my story's kind of crazy. I don't know if anybody will believe me, but I assure you, the events did happen. Um, It's long, but I'm going to shorten it.
Okay.
So I want to first start off. My earliest memory is when I was about 5 years old,
Mm-hmm.
between 5 and 6. I have absolutely no memory in this body before then. I
Hmm.
personally have been told that I am not from this planet. I've been told that from my spirit guardian.
Mm-hmm.
Um, That's why I say I don't have any memory of being in this body at all.
Right.
Before that, I believe I'm a walk-in. Um,
Yeah.
I have been told. I have not been told what species or
Mm-hmm.
extraterrestrial species I'm from, but I have been
Mm-hmm.
told that I am not from this planet and that I
What?
incarnated into this body. And when I was
Yeah.
younger, I would repeatedly have this one dream.
Mm-hmm.
And in this dream, there was nothing really particular that stood out. I would wake up out the bed, go downstairs, go on a porch, and look up at the sky as though I was waiting on someone to come pick me up. When they never
Hmm.
showed up, I woke up. I walked back in the house and I woke up. That happened 5 days straight.
And what year
And
was that? Do you remember?
um, I want to say 2005,
Okay.
2004, around that year. I was
Okay.
young.
So in that
I was
area.
very young.
Okay. So you would physically
Um,
go out and wait in it sounds like you were waiting for a ship to pick you up, correct?
yes, but it was in a dream, and it seemed so real. Like, it didn't
Mm-hmm.
seem like a dream at all.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't have any dreamy mechanics to it. It's like I would just
Right.
wake up out the bed, out of my sleep, go
Yeah.
out on the porch, wait for a ship to come pick me up, and when it didn't show up, I would walk back in the house, and that's when I woke up out of sleep, out my sleep. And this
So you
happened
were
for five
sleeping, you were
days.
dreaming, right? You were dreaming and then you
Yeah,
woke up out of the dream where you in the dream were walking outside waiting to be picked up, went back inside, and then you woke up out of the dream and you woke up.
yep.
That's interesting.
Oh, and there now later on. Let's fast forward to around the time I was a teenager. I did have one encounter with a UFO. It was across the street. My now deceased neighbors who lived across the street.
Mm-hmm.
Um, ship was pretty large. It was about the size of like 4 or 5 houses. Um, and I cannot remember what I was told to do. I believe I was going to the store from my father, and during that time I was only out there for like 10 minutes. I got very afraid and I started to knock on the door. Let me in, let me in. So they opened up the door and he called me upstairs. To him, I was gone for like 50 minutes, but I wasn't outside for no more than 10 minutes. This shit, it did manage to fly over my head. But outside of that, I did manage to get in the house before anything else could happen. That same night, I don't personally believe this was a dream because I did read in a book on extraterrestrials that, or abductions that they have the ability to make people think that abductions are dreams when in reality you've actually been abducted. I've had an encounter where and
okay,
these
I'll let you continue. I'll let you continue in a second. So right now, as I'm sitting here, I feel this beautiful flow of energy. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm going to let you continue in a minute. Now I don't have the air conditioner on. It's off, and there's nothing blowing. There's no wind or anything in the room. There's nothing. Just this beautiful flow of energy that I'm feeling right now. I kind of feel like I have 4 space beings from the Ashtar Command that are in my house all the time, here to protect me. I feel this energy coming through, like a flowing energy right now, just for the moment. But I'm gonna have you continue. But it feels like a cool energy coming through, and I just feel this coolness right now. I just had to say that because it's happening right now as I'm sitting here. But go ahead, continue your story.
Now, these entities are going to pop up later on in the story. After I saw this ship, got in the house and whatnot, explained what was going on. Of course, no one believed me. That following night, I did have a dream. I was being taunted by like 3 grays. I was on a table. I took my hands and I shielded my eyes because they looked physically terrifying. And they would take my hands and remove my hands from my face. So I guess they feed on fear or whatnot. I'm not sure. But at the time, it was very, very terrifying for me. And I do believe that they put a chip in my back. And I'm going to explain why. But it was removed by other entities. And I'm going to explain exactly what they look like.
Okay.
But I believe they did do that night. Because like I said, some of them have the ability to make you believe that what you're experiencing is a dream, when in reality you actually physically experience that.
Exactly correct. Exactly correct. Yeah.
But like I did message you the whole story.
Okay.
So you could read that as well. I've had encounters with these entities coming down in human form, body and all.
So it sounds like you've had both negative and positive.
Yes, exactly. So, and what's weird is the negative entities was only allowed to do so much before the positive entities stepped in and said, "Stop it right there."
Yeah, well, that's because the positive beings, the space people, once they got wind of what these negative beings were doing, they were able to go in and stop them. Because negative ETs they cannot outmaneuver the positive space people, because they'll basically be quarantined, the negative ETs. But continue, because I have a feeling, I'm also feeling I need to assist you a little bit here. But go ahead, I'm very interested in your story, so I want you to continue.
I've had these entities appear in human form. Um, there was someone that my brother knew when I was younger. Now this guy practiced certain types of magics.
Yeah, we're gonna stay away from all that stuff. The paranormal.
Yeah. Okay.
We have to stay away from that paranormal. That's one thing I don't want to do on here.
Okay. So let's just say that I was able to see, like I'm able to just spot these entities instantly. Like I can pinpoint them even when they're in human form. And I have seen them several times, even hiding straight in people, or just straight like some of them. And I tell people this all the time. They can physically come down here in human form. It's not always possession,
right?
Because I've seen them do it.
Well, some of that is also called shape shifting.
Yeah.
Basically,
but they would look human, but average person, you're interacting with them. They don't know that they're interacting with an extraterrestrial, but that's what they're doing.
Right.
But I've had a text several times from these negative entities. I had this one time where they took my spirit out my body, touched my forehead. I had no problem with astral projection before this, but once they did that, it's like the abilities that I had would weaken. I would go. I know they have like these space sections, and I'm not sure if you've heard of this before, but it's like it's like a dimensional plane on Earth where, like, if you walk through it, you would physically see them there. And
I'm getting. Go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you. I've been reading your energy since we talked. If you watch my show, I read people's energy, and you know what I've done. You've been consistently. I appreciate that. I'm getting told by the command I need to assist you, but I need your permission to do this. I've done this with a few people tonight, and I've done it for the last few weeks. It's been like a constant thing, and if you give me permission, I'm going to bring the Ashtar Command to your location, and we're going to assist you right now, and we're going to go after the negative ETs, and they're never going to bother you again, ever.
Yes, you can.
I can, okay. So we're going to do this, folks, again tonight. I'm going to switch my consciousness now into my Ashtar Command mode. I don't have to do any rituals. I'm not doing any jumping or looping around the room. I don't have any neon lights or crystal balls or throwing cards in the air. I'm not throwing pendulums at the window. I'm not doing anything that's, hyper egotistical. Everything I'm doing is going to be very, very real for this person. And give me your first name, Black Diamond.
Emmanuel.
Okay, where did that music come from?
That was a notification on my phone.
Okay, just want to make sure. All right, so I'm going to help you here. I want to send one of the ships to your location. Where are you located again?
I'm in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay, Detroit. You're in the city area, but that doesn't matter what we're going to do. It doesn't matter if you're in the city or in a country area. The ship is about 30,000 feet above your location right now. We're going to send 10 Ashtar Command people in your location. And I want you to close your eyes. What I want you to do is take a deep breath. I want you to do this, and when you take the deep breath in, I want you to bring it through your nostril about 6 or 7 times until you relax your whole body and your whole consciousness right now. And when you've completed the breathing exercises, let me know.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. You sound like you're a lot more calmer than you were before. Do you feel a little bit different?
Yep.
Okay. All right. That's good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to send 10 Ashtar Command people cloaked into your house. Do you have a basement?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to have 5 of them go into the basement area. I'm getting the feeling that the negative ETs have been using the basement as a center area to hide.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's
oh, yeah.
that they've been using your basement. I know this for a fact. They've been using your basement for a long time. It's going to be stopped right now as I speak. I want the Ashtar Command people. Actually, we're sending another 10 Ashtar Command people from the ship. There's now 20 of them on the ground level. 10 of them are going in the basement. They're going to round up these beings. They are very smart in the sense that they make themselves kind of blend into the room so you can't see them. But they're not that smart, because now we're going to take them out of that house, out of the basement. They're taking also, I'm being told they have certain gadgets that were cloaked. They're taking the gadgets out that they've been using negatively against you. The whole room is going to be, the whole basement's going to be amped up in a higher vibrational pattern. So all the energy that is negative down there from them is going to be, it's going to be removed right now in a nanosecond. The second thing we're going to do is they're going to work with you. Some of the people, we have what we call, we have a ship, Ashtar Command medical ship. Not like on Earth where you have like primitive, the Earth-based doctors have somewhat of a primitive understanding of things. And so what the space medical people will be doing with you, they're going to work on your physical and your conscious level of your brain. I want you to just relax. 2 of them are going to come up towards you. As you keep your eyes closed, clear your mind, don't think about anything. Allow yourself to just be still. You'll start feeling an energy of warmth. You'll feel a different energy vibration in the room you're in. When you start feeling it, just let me know when you start feeling it. And they haven't even done anything yet, but they are getting closer to your physical area where you're sitting.
Okay, I feel it.
Okay. Now you're really going to feel it, but it's all going to be good. Nothing other than positive. I want the woman, medical person, to touch your neck area. I want her to touch your neck area, please. And the other 2 people touch the right and left shoulder. For some reason, this is always important. I'm getting used to understanding why they're doing the right and left shoulder. It has something to do with the energy flow of your body. And it will, they're going to switch the cellular structure of energy in your body. They're going to clear out all the negative implications that these ETs did to you over the years. So right now they're going to start working on you. Please let him know that you're touching his right and left shoulder and the neck area, please. Please let him understand and know that. Keep your eyes closed, please.
Okay, I hear them.
You hear them, okay. And do you feel what they're doing?
Yep, I visualized it in my head too.
Yes, just like my earlier guest. They're going to let you visualize it too. You can visualize it. Now they're going to do is they're going to clear all the things they've attached, the negative ETs attached to your consciousness, and all things that they attach to your physical body, both in the etheric level and on the physical level. So I want my space friends to work on them right now and take out all the negative stuff out of the body and out of the consciousness. And they're going to take that stuff away, and it's going to be turned into nothingness. It's going to be dematerialized into nothing. In a few minutes, you're going to feel your whole physical mental self feel much lighter, and you're going to feel a whole lot better than you felt in your whole entire existence of this happening. Let me know. Just take your time. Keep your eyes closed now. And as we go in every moment, every second now, your whole energy is going to shift. And actually, we're going to keep the 20 of the space people with you for the next few days while we're coming into the weekend. So we're going to have them stay with you till Monday Earth time. As we know time to exist on Earth, till Monday of your Earth time, they will be with you. They're going to put up a invisible force field, and they're also going to check the energies of, because you're in the city or in Detroit, they're going to check other buildings and other places around you and make sure that they glow, and they're going to clear out a lot of the buildings or homes. They're going into the homes to make sure that there are not ETs hiding in other people's homes, basements, and so forth. What they're doing is they're doing a clearing of the perimeter. There's going to be an invisible force field around your location, and these negative ETs will no longer be able to come. They'll actually have a problem trying to get through the force field. They're not going to try. They're going to know they can't do it. How do you feel right now?
So much better.
Okay. And that's what I do. No hocus pocus. Everything is real. And you're now gonna, in the next few days, you're gonna feel so much better. The positive ETs that were working with you, they will be allowed to be with you, but the negative ones, they're gonna be sealed from ever coming into your physical being again. Never again. Ever.
Thank you.
Never. Thank you. And I bless you. I bless you, brother. I send you my love. We love you. The command loves you. The space people there from the command love you. And they will, maybe 1 or 2 before they leave by Monday, they will let you see them. They're tall, about 7.5, 8 feet tall. They're men and women, human just like you. You have nothing to be afraid of. The vibrational patterns of their energies, always of the love, always of the light, always of the essence of being.
Thank you.
You're a love, brother. You're a love.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before we let you go?
I feel like I have a galactic family, but how do I get in contact with them?
Ask the people that are with you right now. The command is with you. They are your family. They come from many different planetary systems. You can communicate with them telepathically while they're with you until Monday. They will guide you and they will help you in that area as well. They will guide you right there in your house. They're right there with you. They're cloaked, but they are right physically there. You already know that. So I want one of them or 2 of them has the ability to help you. I want you to help him understand who his galactic family is, please. Before you leave at the end of the weekend, please communicate with him and help him activate his memory as to who his family is, and also activate him so he's able to communicate with them on a conscious level, please. They're going to help you do that.
Okay, thank you. You helped me out a lot.
You're very welcome, brother. You're a blessing. We love you, man.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to let Black Diamond go, and he's well protected, and he's got 20 Ashtar Command people that are in his house. Thank you, Chelsea. It's almost 2 in the morning. We need to get up to 100,000. I can't believe since 11:15 p.m. I'm at 68,000. I want everybody to tap the screen here. If you tap my profile, you'll increase the likes. You can't increase the likes unless you tap. You might not be familiar with the tapping thing. The reason why those hearts are happening because a few people are tapping, but if all 300 people tap right now, I can get us up to 100,000 likes in like 5 minutes. I want everyone to focus on the top corner of the screen. It says 68.9. Everybody, I need everybody to help me right now as I help you in every way that I do on this show. Show that you like what we're doing by tapping. That is the most important thing you can do, regardless of whether you have ability to donate to the show or not. If you can tap, that's your donation. By tapping, that's your donation. We're at 71.6. We need to get to 100,000. I know we can do it. I also thank everybody for the gifts. I appreciate them. I love you all. Even if you don't have any way to do gifts, that's fine too. Novus Oak, yes. You are in the right place. You are in the right place. You're all in the right place. Chelsea, thank you for the hat. Thank you so much. Karen, thank you for the Knights thing. I love the Knights thing. That is pretty cool. I've not seen any galaxies. I know the galaxies cost more TikTok coins depending what you give somebody, but I'd like to see some galaxies tonight. But all gifts are welcome. Roses, the corn thingy, or whatever it might be, whatever you can do. Hey, Karen, thank you for the galaxy. Yaya Spirit, thanks for joining us, Yaya. You're a blessing always. And we're getting up to 2. It's almost at 80,000. We need to get up to 100,000. Can we do it? Can we do 100,000? Can everybody tap their screen? Thank you for the roses. We appreciate that. I need everybody. This is the way we're going to have a transformation on the planet. If we all work together, it's a beautiful thing, right? If we all work together, it's a beautiful thing. And if you all tap on the screen, instead of 2 or 3 people doing it, I'm sure their fingers are tired by now, but if everybody does it, we get up to 100,000, right? Don't be a bystander. Don't be just a person sitting there looking at the screen. Be proactive. I like to get everybody active, whether you're a guest or not. This is how you become active. This is how you're proactive on the show. This is how you're going to make a difference, right? It's not like coming in for 5 minutes. Oh, that's a good show. Oh, now I'm going to go look and see what other TikTok shows are on there or TikTok people are on there. If you stay a while, if you watch me for the whole show, if you allow your consciousness to relax and watch the show, you will be addicted in the best possible addiction ever, and that's encounters. Thank you for the Dini. Thank you for the roses. Thank you so much. And my Venmo account, believe it or not, hey, thank you for the donut. I love donuts. My Venmo account is also my profile link here. So now many people know I do have a Venmo. Thank you for the ice cream. It's so hot out here. We're probably going to need some tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you for the heart meat, Carol. That's a blessing. Thank you. And, so let's see here. Free Game wants to join us. Free Game. Let me see. I got to see what's happening here. So Free Game, you definitely could join us. You'll be maybe my last interview of the night. Can you tell me what your story is? Again, you have to be over 18, no children on the show, no smoking, no vaping. It's all part of that same thing. No drugs, no drinking, no cursing, no paranormal discussion. Again, we keep it on the galactic cosmic area. But I'm interested in Free Game. What did you want to share with us? Let's see here. You're 24, okay. And what did you want to share before I bring you up here as my possible last guest? And let's see. Oh, okay. This is interesting. Scissorhand Z, Instagram, rap producer and recording artist. So you're saying that you dated, this other person saying they dated a woman that was an extraterrestrial. So my question is, let's see if I can. So my question is, how do you know she was an extraterrestrial? Oh, it's Free Game. I'm going to bring Free Game up here. And Free Game, we're going to bring up to the show. It's funny. I don't know what it is, but with TikTok, some people have 5 or 27 people. Used to be 100, now it was 50. I don't know. I can't understand TikTok anymore. Anyway, Free Game, what's your first name?
Yoshi.
Yoshi. Welcome to the show. Where are you located, Yoshi?
Virginia.
Oh, great to have you with us. So tell us your story. Your last comment was experience with extraterrestrials. And when did that start?
When I was a kid, like 5 years old.
Okay.
it started from there, but I have a lot of encounters presenting itself throughout life in general. But my first encounter of a like interdimensional being, that it wasn't a UFO, but I vividly remember some type of being help taking me out of my body and displaying my room. Like I see my body, I can see my brother's body, I can see these two beings standing around, floating above, and I'm floating with them, and they're giving me information, but I don't remember exactly what they gave me. So that was one time.
And tell us what those beings looked like. My audience probably, I know I do. I'm sure my audience all around the world wants to know. So what did they physically look like? Do you remember?
They looked like lights. Just
lights.
light.
And were they tall? Like how tall was the light?
Well, they weren't exactly tall. It was kind of just like a physical like light body. It wasn't. I couldn't tell you how tall because I was like 5 years old. So they were.
You're 5 years old.
Yeah, they were. In my sense, I don't think they were really tall either, but they were kind of like a light body type.
Well, that's a good word. Light body would be absolutely correct in what you're saying. But go ahead.
Yeah. So that was one instance. But I had another instance where I believe was given like a vision through like a frequency transmission. I say that in the realest way, not like it was during a time where I was free of any type of drugs, but I was really into like meditation and like I used to always get like sleep paralysis. So I remember reading about like how sleep paralysis can jump you into a lucid dream if you just don't panic. Because the panic comes from like your perception. Like, of course, you're going to panic if you can't move, you can't breathe correctly. But that panic, if you like subside it, can move you into like experiencing the next realm of outside of yourself, basically. So, and I remember having sleep paralysis one time, and I was like, all right, I can't move, but I'm gonna try to like just calm down and like get into my head. So I closed my eyes, and all I remember is like this loud frequency, like like your ears are ringing, but it just kept getting louder. Like so, and I figured it wasn't that it couldn't have been like in my head at that point. It has to be outside of me because it was so loud. And then I just seen like light just shoot me into this scene where it was like this being was showing me the creation of like civilizations and the destruction of civilizations like over and over again. It was like a being showing me different like how civilizations were destroyed and then rebuilt and destroyed, like different types of colors, like colors I've never seen before and stuff like that.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah, I chalked it up as like a message from another side, basically, to show to give me some information about like the human existence in general.
So they were educating you about the history, and I think they were also telling you about the history and also trying to teach you about probably how things could be too, right?
Yeah. Different shapes and different colors I never seen before. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting stuff. I think like just like Tesla too. Like he got those messages. He believed like through frequencies and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, Tesla. I love Tesla. I mean, Tesla was not from this earth. Tesla came here in human form too, to provide us to have free energy and all these things that we were confiscated by Earth-based government. Because if they weren't confiscated, our planet would have free energy by now. So when you bring the word Tesla into the whole equation, he was really there to free our planet from being controlled in many ways. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. During around the same time, Thomas Edison and everybody and the Rockefellers and stuff, they formed a monopoly around energy.
Yeah.
It was the divine timing for both things to correspond, like be parallel with each other. Because good always have to have evil.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And all the negative ETs I've talked about on my show, we're rounding them up. They're being taken off planet as we speak, and we're really going after them. They're hiding all over the place, so they're not going to be on the planet much longer. We are really going after them right now.
So what's your view on USOs, unidentified submerged objects in the water?
I can definitely tell you something about that. So the submerged spaceships, they come from space bases, many of them that are not Earth-based spaceships. There are what they call space bases in the depths of our oceans, really in the deep areas where Earth-based radar and governments have not been able to go. These ships are they come from the inner Earth, and they also come from deep space cities that are in the oceans. They're in very deep areas of the oceans, and that's a place where the Earth-based governments cannot go to. They don't have the technology on Earth to go to the depths of those places. The pressure would be too much for any Earth-based technology. But the spaceships are built so they are able to transcend the pressure of the oceans, and they also have these cities that are in the bottoms of some parts of the oceans and also within the inner Earth. So that's why you see a lot of spaceships coming and going, a lot more of them coming and going in our oceans all over the world and our seas as well.
Yeah. I understand that because I do understand that. I understand that they're capable of interplanetary travel and stuff like that.
Yes, but absolutely.
The way that they move through the water so fast is because they create their own, I guess, electromagnetic field. I guess
they have an energy field when the ships are in the sky. They have devices to transcend all gravity and anti-gravity devices within their technology. When they go into the water, they can transcend that too. Their ships can operate on both the water level and in the air level, and they're very, very advanced technologies in terms of the types of ships they have.
So do you know anything about that NASA say they destroyed the technology to go back to the moon, but I believe that we haven't been to the moon with our own technology. I believe that if we did go to the moon, it would be via like a extraterrestrial spacecraft.
Well, we actually have been to the moon. We actually had my DoD contact on last year that released a document. There's a lunar base. NASA doesn't. I think NASA knew about this. There's a secret program. There's a lunar base in one of the craters on the moon. There was 5 structures built, and 4 of the structures are being used and there are Earth humans that are in those structures. Now NASA will never know about this. They might know about it, but this is top secret information in terms of the information. I'll show you a picture of it since we're talking about it. Let me. I have the picture right here, and I will show it to you. Let me just do this here. Hold on a minute. Not yet. Oh, there it is. I'm going to do this here for a minute. I'm going to take myself. You see that? I want everyone to look at that. This is stuff that is not public knowledge.
Yeah.
I got this from my friend last year. This is their interconnected structures on the moon, and I'm not remembering what part of the moon it is on the surface, but they are active. 4 or 5 of the structures at the time last year had human beings in them.
Yeah. No, I there's so many anomalies on the moon just like that, but that's definitely one obvious one too, right there.
Oh, this is real. This is my friend. This was she gave this to me, and it's definitely not public knowledge.
Yeah.
And I just want people to see this for a minute.
Yeah.
Let me go back to my other screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me just go back here.
Yeah, that's important stuff too.
Yeah, so that's one of the things. It was definitely information that the public has not known about, and they need to know the truth. Let me see here.
Yeah, there's this guy called Secure Team on YouTube. He used to
yeah.
Oh, yeah, he used to show the huge moon structures that like the pyramid type structures, or those big structures that would be like so like out of place that they can't like be not natural. I mean, they have to be artificially made, stuff like that.
Right.
The shadows that they cast be like so tall. It looks small from our perspective, but if we were on the moon, like a lot of times the shadows that these things cast are so like a crater can be like a mile long, but it doesn't look like that from our perspective.
Yeah, from our perspective, because we can't see it like on a real close level, right? So
exactly.
Yeah, it could be a mile long too. Yeah, absolutely, maybe.
So,
we're getting up to about 2:09 in the morning here, and it's. I'd love to keep talking. It's getting kind of like, but you've been great. You've been a great guest, and I'm following you too. So I'm glad to have you Helen here as my last guest for the night. We've had a lot of great people. We've helped a lot of great people tonight here. I want everyone to let people know about the show. Our goal is to get to 100,000 followers to reach out to more people. So please follow the show. If you're not following my TikTok, follow it. Tell other people to follow it. Follow each other. I'm all about equal following here. So please do it. And free game. Again, give me, how do you pronounce your name again, the first name?
Yoshia.
Yoshia. A beautiful name, Yoshia. So Yoshia, thank you for being here. Thank you for the helmet, Chelsea. I want everyone to thank Yoshia for coming on from Virginia.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate your stories and our interactive dialogue here. It's been great.
Yeah. I'm very big on. I've been looking into UFOs and stuff like that ever since I had those experiences. I always was into the supernatural, and they come across like government documents and stuff like that. It's very interesting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I want to thank you for being here. We're going to call it a night here, and we're going to check on our sister April. I think she's live. And if people, after I go off, want to hear April, look for Friends with Fairies 1111. Friends with Fairies 1111. She's probably on. Hopefully she's still on. Let me see. I'll tell you in a second. Yeah, she's on. You're going to go after my show to Friends with Fairies 1111. She's my friend in Vermont. She's been on these ships physically for over 30 plus times. And we're part of a group of people that are going to be going off planet within less than a year. She's been going off planet for us initially, and there's going to be these groups of 5. But anyway, if you want to experience her live, I highly recommend it. She's my close friend in Vermont. She's a contactee. She's part of our group of 5, working with the Ashtar Command, the Bigfoot, the Mer people, the fairies, and all about connections here. So I'm going to check her out for a little bit before I go off planet. And I want to thank you all for being here. We appreciate all our new viewers, all the people that are current viewers. You all have been great. Thanks for joining us. And I'm going to go to Friends with Fairies 1111 now. Take care, everybody. Have a great night and have a good weekend.